Hello and welcome to this special one-shot of how Peter calls it Carlos, or how I call it Rending the Veil. This is a dark and greedy demon hunting one-shot. And with me tonight...
Philip playing Remulus, who's an altered human.
Bex playing Megara, who is an alien.
A demon.
Alien and alien demon, same thing. Not of this world. Yeah.
I'm Kirsty, and I'll be playing Hazel, who is something else, an apothecary.
Yes, that's it.
And Peter playing Vidric the blacksmith.
So for this one shot, what I decided to do is have a mesh of an idea that I have in this dark and gritty world, sort of like a fantasy. It's a mirror image of... It's a very dark mix of Gotham meets the worst parts of Moria from the Lord of the Rings. But also, I wanted to keep it very simple with the system. So the system we're using is an old system called the Judge system, owned by TSR back in the day when they owned other games like Dungeons and Dragons and things like that. It's a very simple system. All it uses is a 1d100, and that's it. Character sheets were bespoke. They rolled using the Marvel SuperHeroes game that used this system. And we just brought things from that perspective into the game. So when Bex says that she's an alien, it's basically because she's not from this world. She's from another world, so she has other abilities. So right now, let's dive into it as we do small flashbacks. That one, because English is important when you're storytelling in English. So, the four of you already know each other. Have known each other for several years now. For the last few years, you have been looking and hunting for these demons. Well, for the others, it's just this man that can tear apart the division, the veil between this world and the afterlife, or hell, actually. That specific part of the afterlife where Megara comes from. And now she's trapped in this realm, and she needs a way to go back, and the only way is to find this person. So this lieutenant of, let's call it the armies of hell, a guy that answers, well, you know now that as a mortal, he answers to the name of Stuart.
No way.
Very non-distinct.
Stuart.
But his demon name is Garxix.
Okay.
That's more like it.
Okay.
So Stuart is a nondescript guy in a city that is very... It's both massive and small. It's large and oppressive. It is a city that sits right at the verge of two mountains that meet in that little valley. So it's mostly vertical. So it's a small flat area that is mostly vertical. Tall structures. Some of the shanty towns are like on the ladders of this. So it's always going up. So people live literally on top of one another. It's very dark and gloomy and rainy most of the time. Now, this city of Dinar, is the place where you have followed Garxix, and where you think he can be brought to justice, Megara. You are standing in front of a mirror, using your human visage of the Arbiter. What do you see in the mirror? Describe it for folks in the camera.
So I am fairly young, about 17 years old, with blue eyes and short blonde hair, and quite a slight build. So, and I guess I'm wearing, I think probably robes or whatever, the right thing for an arbiter to wear.
Yeah, you're wearing the arbiter's robes and the sash.
Yes.
That marks you as someone that is basically an arbiter. You're upholding the laws in the city of Dinar. Now, you're looking at the mirror, confirming, well, trying to get a hold of your friend. Trying to get a hold of Richard, who shows up on the other side of the mirror. And for a second there, you see in the mirror behind him part of the haziness and the ashes of home. And you've been amongst mortals long enough to understand that little uncomfortable yet slightly happy emotion is nostalgia. You're yearning to go back to a life of torturing souls and all blah yada yada yada, but it's just going back.
Yeah.
So he is on the mirror and says, "He's there. I know. He opened 2 more rifts."
2?
Yes. He's preparing for something big, Megara.
We traced him here. And just... How long do you think we have? We need to take some sort of action quickly.
He just squints and in his demonic face is like squashed, and it's sort of like his head is on a V shape, and his eyes are big, but they're bulbous, but they're covered by these thick, big eyelids, and he squints and tries to think and forces his green filled with pointy teeth. I think it's not long now. He was doing drills. I think he's planning to move an army in.
Well, we chased him here. He wasn't prepared for that, and that's what caused him to leave. So it's possible he's been planning this for some time.
He still hasn't recovered from your last encounter.
Well, he won't recover from this one. And bring him back, no matter what.
I'll be waiting with the executioners. You bring him back, Megara.
I will.
And then he just steps back into the smoke. And then it's just your reflection.
I check that I still look like I should.
Like a mortal, yes. Like a human, yes.
It hasn't. Yeah, you know.
No, you had, yeah.
Like the emotion of this hasn't. And then I think I want to try and get hold of these guys.
Okay.
So we've lived in the city for a period.
In the same city, you've moved to in the city for the last. Yeah, you've been living here for a few months already.
So I think probably I'll start with Romulus.
Okay, so on your way to one of the houses, sort of like in the shacks in the shanty town, in the lower levels, you walk in they're very narrow, the cobble streets, and there is this lack of actually a smell. Like it's very windy, so it's not like like the stench of this place would linger for long. But the more you approach the place, the stronger it gets, and you hear just the shuffling of feet, people walking up and down the hill, minding their own business, making sure that their steps in the sort of wet and muddy stone don't slip. You get to a place where with an old door, no painting, all wooden and stone, with some, it's very old and withered, and slight splinters. This is Remulus' house.
I'll knock on the door.
Hello?
Romulus, it's me.
Right.
Might I enter?
Sure. Open the door.
And on the other side of the door, you can see.
Remus is early 30s, but his physical features, there's hair he's carrying off and also been mauled quite deeply. That seems to have healed over, but yeah, it's this is not a pretty face. It has just been mauled quite deeply. The contraption on his hand. Megara?
I thought it might be relevant to let you know Galaxix is here. More than that, he's planning something big, I think. Now, rather intend to take him back to where we both came from. But I thought you might want in on this, as might the others. After all, you have more justifiable grievance with him, perhaps, than others.
Yes.
We're going to have to find him. We're going to have to take appropriate action against him. Now, I'm taking him back, but, well, I rather think it's up to you what condition I take him back in.
Thank you. Let's get the others.
And as that conversation happens, flashbacks, it comes back to that night in which you came to the aid of the blacksmith, that night in which a portal to somewhere you didn't know at the time, but you know now, is to the afterlife, was open. And you tried with your very basic knowledge of magic from the academy, very, very rudimentary skills, tried as you could, but you died. And you know you were brought back. You know you were brought back by Megara, by Hazel, and with the help of Vidric. But you see it in your body. You see it in your scars. You see it in the crystal that sits in your chest, holding out the infection that is the essence of hell. Now hammer is ringing on the smithy, and Vidric is working the day away, just pretending he's a normal upstanding citizen, not letting other people know that he's actually here to regain something that he owed at some point. So, can you describe Vidric for us?
So Vidric is a white man in his mid-20s. He has shoulder-length brown hair and a full beard. He's got quite a prominent, sharp-looking long nose, and he has that tan that one gets from working many of their hours alongside a forge. But for a smith, he's not as big or bulky or broad as most smiths might be. He looks like someone who does work quite a lot at the forges, but maybe not as much as other smiths might.
Someone approaches you in your shop.
Okay.
It's a woman in her early to mid 40s, perhaps, and she's coming covered, with a shawl and veil from the rain. And when she comes in, she uncovers. She has some gray hairs, and you can see a little bit of the passage of time in her face. She greets you with a smile, not a full set of teeth, but still warm and a bit shy. So, hello, blacksmith.
Come in, good woman. Come out of the rain.
I was hoping my husband has some things he needs to order from your shop. They are some utensils. Do you do those for a farm, right on the outskirts?
If you can name it, good woman, I can make it.
Oh, he needs a sickle and probably a pair of thongs, maybe some horseshoes.
Yes, of course. When does he need them by?
Before your soul is lost.
Sorry, say Say that again?
You heard me, Vedrick. Before your soul is lost. Forever.
Who are you?
I'm just one of the emissaries of R6.
Well, if you're one of the emissaries of Gar6, then you can pass a message back, which is my soul will not be lost forever.
I mean, that's not what he said. Apparently you won your bet against him, but your original bet is still lost.
Well, that's because he hasn't held up his end of the bargain. Is that why you've come? Have you come... Is he finally going to do what he's been supposed to do for years?
No, I think it's... Your challenge was interrupted.
My challenge was not interrupted. I was successful. If he had the good grace to make an appearance, I would show him just how successful I was.
You succeeded?
Well, of course I succeeded.
Show me.
Fine. Take a seat. I'll be back.
Just waits there for you.
So I will go and put on my armour.
Okay. Describe it, please.
So it's a suit made of kind of 2 layers. There is a fairly simple suit of plate mail, and then over it a set of kind of cobbled together chain links and plates that seem to have been grabbed from a number of different sources and then basically fixed together in something of a hurry and then refined in the years that have passed. And between those 2 layers of armour, there is something that seems to move. Sometimes it just seems like the plates are darker than they should be on the inner set, but sometimes it is as if there is nothing beneath the links on the inner set, as if there is a gap or a void or a space. The armour on the inside, the metal seems darker than it should be at all times, whereas the armour on the outside is slowly darkening over time in places, as if the colour is being leached from it.
So you walk out. It's just like, that is not the challenge.
I have a good memory. Emissary, messenger, lackey. What's your official title?
You will respect me. And for a second you see the visage. And you know that is not from around here. It reminds you of Megara when she loses it.
Yeah. So, well, your master has hardly behaved worthy of respect, so why should I respect you?
The deal was to craft something out of nothing. And
Yes.
that was the challenge.
Yes, and your master opened a plenty nasty piece of nothing in our world. So, and here it is. So, and from it, let me craft something. So I will open part of the plate up to allow some of this energy to escape. And from that energy, I will craft a blacksmith's hammer.
Okay. Can you do me a dark force manipulation check, a creation roll?
Yes.
Let me know what type of feat it is.
So I got a 99.
So that's a red feat.
That's a red feat.
Okay, that is, you create a full blacksmith hammer that looks so real, it's uncanny. It actually looks real. You know by the weight, by the feel, that it's made of this sort of void energy, but it's made manifest, solid, materialized. But more importantly, you feel it tingling in the direction of this creature. Comes from that realm on the other side of the gate. It resonates with it. You figure that if you were to smash her with this right now, it would do more than a dent.
Okay. So in that case, I will say, would you like to feel the hammer?
He recoils from it. I will tell him. I will tell him to come. He might want to make another deal with you.
Well, he'll have to resolve the first deal before we make a second. Fool me once, shame on me, eh?
And for a second, her face goes back. And this time you see it slightly clearer. She looks so much like Megara. We'll be back for sure. She just turns, as she turns, she puts the cloth over her head and walks down into the rain.
Have I got any nails handy?
Yeah, of course. You're in a blacksmith shop.
I think I'm going to take one of those nails, and as she's turning to go, I'm going to go and hammer it through her ankle into the floor. Oh! So she can't go anywhere. Because it strikes me that she knows where this demon is, and my friends will probably want to talk to her.
Good call.
Ouch. Okay. Do an attack roll. It's a blunt weapons attack.
Blunt weapon attack? Okay. So that is a green feat.
Green feet. And well, you're not nailing her to the ground, but you are crippling her. Like her foot is like you managed not only to put the big nail, but the hit with your hammer is enough to crush her ankle. And that's when you remember, oh yeah, Megara turns into a mortal when she is. So you just destroyed a mortal's foot, like anyone being molded to the ankle.
Okay.
And of course, she starts screaming. And you know that will draw the attention of the guard.
I'll say to her, I'll raise the hammer again. I'll say, one chance to shut up.
Oh, that's okay.
Yep.
She will shut up.
Good.
Woo, escalate.
I'm going to direct her back to her seat fairly forcefully.
Okay, you basically drag her to her seat. She's bleeding, of course, and some people are approaching. But she's quiet, although in pain.
Do I know where these people dwell?
You know where they live, yeah.
Okay.
They operate.
Can I see a urchin who might want some coin?
Well, yeah, actually, after the screaming and the yelling, more than a couple of people just show up.
Okay.
Even though it's raining.
Cool. I'll say to them, I'll take some coins, or if I don't have coins, anything of value that I've got, and I will say, I need you to fetch some people for me. I'll pay you.
And there is a kid runs straight inside the shop, and you can see he is definitely benefiting from the rain, as you can see how the dirt is being cleaned away from him.
Okay, so I'll give him some coin, and I will say, same again when you're back, and then I will describe these charming people and ask him to...
And where they live.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I want them, and I'll say, tell them to come now.
Okay. So, you're doing anything else in the...
In the meantime, I'm going to menace this old woman / demon from hell. I'm just going to basically make sure that she's not trying to do anything. If she looks like she's going to try and do anything, I will apply my hammer until such time she stops doing something.
First one, pounding on the door, Hazel, of your little shop of herbs, apothecary, and other medicines and remedies. And there's this little kid that's pounding on the door, and as he goes in, Mrs., the blacksmith is looking for you now. You have to come with me now. I'll get more coin now.
Please hold. She'll pack up the thing she was working on, like put away like some herbs, put things where they belong, make sure everything's clean, and then follow after, probably.
Oh yeah, we have a rogue mic. So, describe Hazel.
Hazel is this girl in her early 20s. She's got long brown hair, which she wears in braids, which are kind of coiled around her shoulders. She has hazel-colored eyes, which is probably where the name comes from. And it's like she's always permanently squinting a little bit. What stands out about her the most, though, is that she always carries this wolf skin around her shoulders. And this wolf is perfectly preserved. It's like it's fresh off of the corpse, almost. Except that its eyes are missing. But she always wears that on her.
Okay. And the fur on it, is this like copperish red you mentioned?
Yes.
Yeah. So you put on your wolf skin, put on the head of the wolf over your head, and walk into the rain. Of course, the little child asks you, do you know where it is, or if you need, if you know where the blacksmith is, or if you need guiding back. And the moment you tell him that you know where it is, he hears when you start that, he starts running.
Oh, all right. And she'll make her way over there, trying to stay as sheltered as possible through the rain.
Okay. You were already on your way to see the others.
Well, yeah, I guess would have been heading to his shop. Like, that's where I would have been.
To either of their shops.
Yeah.
There's going to be a very disappointed little guy somewhere crying since he couldn't find the other people. But yes, eventually you will get there before her because you were already on your way. When you get there, there is a woman, the woman I described, and you can immediately see that she has one of her legs like smashed.
I mean, I assume you're there. So
Yeah, I'm there. I'm decked up in my armor. I'm carrying a hammer.
He's carrying the armor he used to close the rift.
Okay, so I'll just kind of glide into the room and say, new customers or new customer policy?
Not exactly. You know, it's funny. I've been thinking we've been going around this all wrong for some time. It'd be much better if we could get him to come to us rather than all of this constant asking around and searching.
That depends on the circumstances or the techniques one uses to get people to come to them.
Well, no sooner had I had this thought that this good woman, so I first thought, came into the shop to say hello. She hasn't quite given me her name or title, but I believe she is a lackey of some sort of Garxix. And she was going to take back a message on my behalf, but then I realised you would probably want to speak to her yourself first, and no doubt then you can take us all to your master, and we can go from there. Do you know each other, by the way?
So
You do not recognize this.
this looks like a normal mortal person to me.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a quick question about my understanding of the world. Is it possible, or is it like common practice that this would be an actual demon, or that he might have possessed this like a normal mortal person?
Roll your occult lore. It's basically make a reason roll. For those of you wondering why you didn't hear any...
What does that come off?
It's because Bex has a 1d100. A single die.
It's yellow.
Otherwise known as a ball.
Or she basically has a golf ball.
Ball.
A golf ball.
Don't mock my balls.
So it's a yellow check.
Sorry.
We can save that for the outtakes with you.
Yellow check is spiritual possession. What you can see. This is like you have manifested physically in this world.
Yeah.
Some people that know how to work with their essence. You know how to work with it, but you drain essence from others. They drain their souls, their life force. But other people, instead of draining in, go out. And some of them push it through the veil into a mortal. This looks like possession. So she can sort of manifest some of those features.
Okay, I'll say.
But this is still a mortal.
Okay, I'll say. This isn't one of mine. This is a mortal.
No, I've seen her face. It doesn't always look like that.
You've
trust me.
seen spiritual possession. I wouldn't expect you to know what it is or understand. Nonetheless, it is not a physical manifestation of someone from my world. So you have, in fact, smashed the ankle of a normal person. Well done.
Yeah.
So, but in point of fact, there is a question about whether or not she has remained attached to this body.
Wait. Are you saying that inside this ordinary woman is one of you?
Possibly. Might have left already. I mean, either yes or no. There was clearly one here when you waylaid her.
You see her having the same expression, looks, and mannerism, so it doesn't look like she has departed.
I can't see that she looks like this, though.
Well, you haven't. He hasn't seen any change that can indicate otherwise.
I know quite a few old women in my time, and most of them don't behave like this with a broken ankle.
True that.
Trust me as the expert on the matter of human beings in general.
I'm certainly an expert on human anatomy. And this leg is shattered. What on earth are you doing?
Well, I
mean, they're stopping someone from running and there's crippling someone.
I assumed you'd want to talk to them.
I mean, I do want to talk
Well,
to them.
then, you're
But
welcome.
there are many ways of getting people to talk that don't involve...
You arrive in this argument.
I imagine she's just in the doorway for a second watching this happen.
Oh, Hazel.
Hi.
Yes.
Now, in
Oh
fact,
my
I was already on my way here before you waylaid this lady.
Oh, I was going to give that boy extra money, but no, good. Saves me
boy?
some coin. The one I sent to find you.
Oh,
he found me.
Oh, good.
Well, in point of fact, I happen to know that Garg6 is planning something big. He's taken two...
Hey, wait.
What?
This is a servant of Garg6, at least wearing the body of a good woman,
This
anyway.
is a person being possessed by
Yes.
possibly a demon. I mean, there are semantics and there are semantics, and this is important differentiation. So, you don't come from here. Well, you don't come from where I come from. Like, I don't.
I
come
certainly
from
don't, and I have no intention of going there either.
No, good. I need to take Garg6 back there.
This...
And all of you turn, and right behind you, it's a man, well dressed, with a nice wool cloak, knocking on the door, on the open door of your smithy. Says like, my. Didn't expect to see you all here. And he starts walking, approaching the woman.
I'm gonna step between him and the woman. I assume I don't recognise this man.
No.
Remus, although having been moving towards Hazel, is stepping between Hazel and...
I'm catching this bloke by the arm, turning him to face me.
So you are all very confrontational with a poor guy.
I mean, I'm not, right?
Poor guy. That remains to be seen.
Yeah, that remains to be seen.
He came here with an attitude, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And he turns to you spin him around, and he just immediately goes, Erini? I'm fine.
And you would be?
Is that you, Megara? Nifty trick.
Looking better than you.
Well, I myself have managed to improve on my tricks as well. But I think you and I have to have a conversation regarding our bet. I think tampering from third parties invalidate the terms of the bet, and we need to engage in it again.
What you need to do is return with me to where we're both from. That's what's going to be happening post.
And that's how you're gonna take me?
Oh, not like this.
Yeah. I'm not going with you anywhere. But you, my friend, Remulus, looking lively.
This is probably the moment where Hazel will step out from behind Remulus and stand in front of him and say,
Hey, I recognize that wolf. He was my friend.
not anymore.
As I recall, you weren't concerning yourselves with the proper time and placement of the death of anyone when you came here.
See, things that I found a way in and out. But not only out of our home, but into other places. Not many, though. This is one. A couple more. And I think I'm getting the grasp of it.
Now, let's not get distracted from our main business. We had a bet.
That is
bet
not
was-
business.
Could I make something out of nothing? Now, your lackey here has seen the evidence of that being true. Is that not correct, lackey? I'll look at the old woman on the bench.
He extends a hand, like for them to hold hands. He says, it's okay.
If it,
Have you seen it?
I'm not going to let the old woman touch his...
Okay.
I'm not going to let that happen. Just I don't mind rolling for it.
No, it's okay. I mean, you are in between.
Yeah.
He's trying to,
Yeah.
reach past you. And she coyly nods. So you have created something out of nothing.
Yes, would you like the proof of it?
Yes,
So this is the something out of nothing.
that is a hammer.
So, but your lackey here saw it created. She was about to come and tell you, but it seems you've come here yourself. At last, crawled out of the woodwork to honour your agreement, right?
No.
Well, there was no third-party tampering here. I made it in front of your lackey. The deal is done.
I have not seen it.
You want me to do it again?
Yes.
You don't trust the word of your...
That is immaterial. We had a deal. I placed a bet. You are to create something out of nothing. I need to see it for myself if I'm going to pay.
Well, had you not run away, you would have seen it before.
Mind if it doesn't work, you lose the bet. And you have one try.
Be careful, Vidric.
Do you want to proceed now?
Your lackey has already agreed that I've succeeded and was going to tell you of the fact. But fine. I'm good enough.
Okay. What are you going to create?
Wait and see. So I will put down the hammer, such as it is, and I will, which of course will go away, as it were.
Yeah.
And this
He
time,
looks at it with a little puzzled when it disappears.
I'm going to create. Oh, I don't know. Probably another hammer, but more like a blacksmith's. Sorry, no, more like a war hammer.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is a yellow check.
Yellow check, that's good. So you proceed, you do the same tear. And the others can see in his eyes when you reach for it. You can feel it. You can feel, Remulus, a little bit of pulsation in the crystal as this guy gets agitated. That is wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
So, the bet has been won, yes?
You have won the bet. I will get this. I get your soul.
Good.
You want it now?
Yes.
Well, then I think you have to come with me.
I'm not leaving. I told you we're going back. You don't have any business taking his soul or anyone else's ahead of time, outside of time.
No, this is slightly different. He's making sure my soul isn't taken ahead of time.
He doesn't have that right.
No.
It is not his place, and he isn't intended to be here.
Well, that all depends
That is
on your
not
point of
a
view.
matter for discussion.
I believe you have not been transparent with your friends, Vidrick. Would you care to explain, Megara, how am I helping you avoid an untimely soul misplacement?
You, of course, would not want to be bored with the details. So to bring this to a
No,
swift...
I'd like all of the details. Begin at the beginning.
Now, I do not have the time for the whole beginning, so how about I leave and we see each other later? Can I take her with me now?
No, you're not going anywhere until this is resolved. I'm owed what's mine on behalf of this pact.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You'll have to come with me so I can make that happen.
A long time ago, for various reasons, I found my soul to be in a place that I did not want it to be, such, on the other side of this business, and well, it's complicated. But the point is that I had a way to get around this, and I made an agreement with this fellow here, and an agreement I have now won, and in return my soul will return to me, so that when I die, my soul will go wherever it is supposed to go, not stolen by a demon.
He sold his soul, Megara.
I was young.
He made a bargain and sold.
Foolish child. You deserve all that comes to you in this.
Well,
So molding.
is what owed to
What
me
you
is my
deserve
soul
is what
back.
you will get from him. Make no mistake about it, you may think you've won this.
So as you can see, Megara, I'm helping him get his soul back from Modin. That's basically it.
I see.
That's where me going in and out is helpful. Don't you want his soul restored?
I want his soul treated in the appropriate way at the appropriate time. Which is exactly what you should want.
That's where we disagree. But I grow tired of this. Now, get out of my way.
No.
So, you're going to go now to get my soul, correct? And you wish me to come with you to do that?
I'm leaving. If you want to come, you come. But I'm taking her with me. And he starts walking towards you. Straight to the woman. Straight for the woman. Are you doing anything?
I am not blocking him this time.
Okay. He just puts his hand over her face. And that's where you see the spirit. You see it leap from the woman into the sleeve, into inside of his clothes. And the woman, as she is, taken by the moment, then she sits and relaxes and immediately starts screaming in excruciating pain.
I'll say, Hazel!
Yes, on it! And wait.
And
Trying
during
to
the
do
distraction, he starts walking away.
This woman who just started screaming, What's my perception of her metaphysical state of being? Should she be alive or not?
Yes, she should be all right.
Okay. No, should she be alive?
Yes. I mean, they.
She'll be all right.
Well, because if she's not, then I would just kill her.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay.
She's still your death side says not her time yet.
Fine. In which case, I follow him.
He's walking under the rain. Are you doing anything, Remulus?
I was gonna.
Do not think about it. You stay here. And Hazel will start to fix up this lady's foot if it's in any way possible still.
So he gets to in front of one of the houses in a street not far away from where he is. And it's a door you've seen many times. You know for a fact that he does not live there. And he puts a hand in the wood on the door and turns and sees you, meets your eye. You know, you should stay here. You dispensing law in this world is the righteous thing to do.
And why on earth would I take your advice about what is a righteous thing to do?
Because I've seen many others, Megara.
What do you mean?
What do you think happens to us when we die?
You don't die. Don't be ridiculous.
Then
Our purpose is to deal with these.
why do you think we have an executioner? And he just pushes the door. And you feel it again. And you feel the portal opening. He has found a way for a long time how to jump between worlds, between dimensions. And he just steps through it and slams the door shut before you can reach it. Back at the store, at the blacksmith, this woman, you have to basically set her foot again. Mm-hmm. And she's, of course, a lot of pain. Mm-hmm. What do you tell her? Like, she doesn't know where she is and why does it hurt so much and why is her ankle all destroyed. Well, her leg. She can barely see it. She looks at it like, oh my God, and then she just covers her face. She is in pain. She's very clearly also disorientated. She doesn't know.
While Hazel is trying to fix up her foot, she'll turn to Vidrick and go, "Thank you so much for calling me over this quickly. I can't believe you let this happen. You should really be more careful with what you make people lift. Maybe you should have just walked with her."
So now, I think what you mean is it was a terrible accident, and it's lucky that I saw her and brought her into my shop and called for your assistance. Yes, absolutely, I agree.
Remulus is slumped against the wall.
Are you covering your face and features?
Yeah.
Okay.
With normal cloak that he's been worn.
I'll say to this woman, but the good news is you are in the best of hands. A true miracle worker, this one. If anyone can have you right as rain again, it's Hazel here.
What happened?
Don't worry, I will pay for all of the treatments. The least I can do, seeing as you had the misfortune to be injured outside my shop.
So eventually you'll spin a story about something. But in the meantime, could you do a psyche roll, please?
Psyche roll, oh boy.
Tell me what type of fit it is.
That will be a yellow.
Yellow feet. So you're listening to this conversation and you're just, you're covering yourself. And then you hear it. You feel like a little hum, like a little small vibration. It's just very tenuous from your chest. Like it's the crystal. You feel it like struggling. It's slightly uncomfortable. It's not painful, but it's as if it was fighting harder than usual to contain what's in you. And you hear in your head, you're holding on tightly to a part of me. And I want it back. Megara.
Yes, I'm heading back to the shop.
And that rebel sits on the floor.
Having noted that this he did what he did at this place, but I have a little to think about. So I mean, obviously I'm not miles away from the shop.
No, you're fairly close, yeah.
So I will arrive back, I guess. What's happening with the girl? Is she still making a lot of noise?
The woman, well, she is in pain, but Hazel has given her something to, first to deal with the pain, and also she's fixed her foot as best as she could. She's a little confused and a little groggy she basically drugged her. Like nature drugged her, so it's like mushrooms or whatever. And she's asking, why is an arbiter here? Am I in trouble? Are you in trouble?
Oh, no.
Is the stone that hit me in trouble?
It's a matter that is all in hand, but you don't need to worry, good woman. You just be comfortable.
Yes, I'm sure I can take your statement another time. I'll take the blacksmith statement here, as this happened
Just outside my shop.
outside his shop.
Amazing. Some of the ruffians we have in the street.
What a
Real.
lucky individual you are, young woman.
Yes. Good job you had the good fortune to collapse just outside my shop, or who knows what could have happened.
She doesn't know what's going on, poor girl. You completely gaslight her. And she's taken away eventually by someone who can take care of her.
Okay, so at the point where she is not there,
Yeah.
then we can talk. Thank you for putting that back together.
Oh, that's quite alright. I had some questions about what happened just now.
Oh, really? It all seemed fairly self-explanatory to me.
Really, especially the part when, Garxix mentioned, I found a way to open doors to other places.
Yes, I mean, that's
And
very bad. I mean, assuming, of course, we believe that
no,
such other
just
places
the
exist.
idea of more other places than yours and mine.
Well, he's probably lying.
How can you be certain?
What did you do to him? Did you follow him? Have you done something to him?
Oh, yeah.
No, he's gone. Well, he's gone for now. But he went through a door that he opened. I imagine similar to what he was describing here. I'm not sure where it led.
Well, we could go and look.
I'm not sure it will still be there. And besides, I don't think that's a good idea. I mean, I can say, based on this young woman here, that if things don't work out with Garxix, you could well have a career for yourself where I come from. I mean, you are clearly skilled in devising punishments with nails.
I thought she was like you. Her face changed.
So I can look forward to this then, can I?
You're always so literal, Megara. She came here, made threats to me on behalf of Garxix, and then I decided that I would capture her here and then bring you all, so that we could go from there. I didn't realise it was some poor woman with a spirit in her. I thought she was just assuming a human form like
You
you.
misunderstand me. I'm paying you a compliment.
Oh well. Then thank you.
I mean, in point of fact, it's an exceptional skill to be able to cause pain of that magnitude in such a small space of time with the kind of devices you had available to you. And that's something commendable for those who deserve it.
All right. Well, that's been an enlightening conversation for everyone. What now?
Well, I think we need to find him and I need to take him back.
Well, but he was right here, and what, you let him go.
Yes. well, it didn't seem like the appropriate moment to get into a confrontation with him.
Well, is there ever a better one? It was just him and us.
Well, in point of fact, I had a conversation with someone from the other side before I came to meet Romulus. And before I came down here to meet you, what happened to him? What, Romulus? I go over and shake him. Mid-sentence.
Thank you.
Hazel.
Busy day.
You quite alright?
Medic.
Wait, your shells are kind of soft. Did you faint?
No. You. After you left with him, he said that he'd be back with what I'm clinging on to of him.
He spoke to you?
He spoke to you after he left.
In your head? Ah,
Yes.
right, okay. Well, that's not a good sign either. And do you feel quite alright?
I mean, the son of a bitch killed me. How am I supposed to feel?
Well, you need to, chin up, Romulus. I mean, you're not actually dead. You've been brought back. It wasn't your time to go. I mean, he's just been here. He just spoke to you in your mind. You seem reasonably together, by my supposition.
How does he look to me?
He's in shock. That's how it looks like. He's in shock.
Well, he's definitely not alright.
Is he not? I mean, he looks like he did when I left. I mean, he perhaps looks a little more slumped, but...
Hazel will try to freshen him up a bit, look for some water, try to get him back into a shape where he can maybe stand up again at some point. Because he's on the floor currently, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, help him sit up.
Sipping some honey, sugars, and things like that, yeah.
It doesn't take long before it just hugs Hazel.
Garxix is
alright.
planning something. He's taken 2 more souls since we arrived here in the city. And that's unusual even for him. So, point of fact, the reason I didn't want a direct confrontation with him at that moment was because I wasn't sure what it would involve. If he's collecting those, then he's doing so for something big. He intends to power something with it.
I see. The agreement that I have with him, how binding is it? Because now that I've won the bet, I would rather like to see my end of it resolved before we obviously take him back to where he belongs.
Can I make a roll to see if I know the answer to that? Or do I know it?
If it's a pact, the way that they're done in your place,
Yeah.
it's absolutely binding.
Okay. Well, if he made a pact with you, outlined as such, and with the appropriate rituals attached, then it's absolutely binding. He must do as you, because you have succeeded.
Excellent.
But I mean, that is not likely to be something you want.
Sorry? Of course it's something I want. I wouldn't have asked for it if I didn't want it.
I mean, going anywhere with him is not likely to be something that works out well for you. But you're right; it's academic at this point. If he's won and you've made some sort of agreement with him, or if you won, even if you've made some sort of agreement with him, there will be something about it that falls in his favour. Mark my words.
That's why I want you around.
Well, you're not going to have me around, because he and I will be returning. Then I will never be coming back to this place.
Well, that's the order of business, I'm thinking, is that as soon as our business is completed, there is no reason for him not to be returned to where he is. And if he needs to go back there to get it, well, doesn't that mean we can all be happy?
No.
We take him back, he gives me what's owed, we return home, you keep him there.
You can't go where we're from. I mean, it's just too long to explain, but it would be very bad for your well-being.
Fine, then he brings it back to me as is in the agreement, and then we send him back, and that's that.
You know, Garxix suggested that I consider staying here,
I see.
which makes me think it would be to his benefit were I to do so.
I didn't think you liked it here.
No, I don't.
No. Okay, at least we're clear on that.
I mean, it's a long time to have been here. I mean, it's not a long time in the scheme of things, but it's a long time to have been around such fragile things.
Well, careful about how you phrase that,
What?
please.
What?
We're trying, you know?
Now, Do you remember that I was saying we've been going about this all wrong? We've been running around after him, whereas really we want him to run to us and
Yes.
keep it simple. Well, what he's doing is seen as wrong, not just by you. Is that right?
Yes, well, it's seen as wrong by all of the order of our beings in the place where we're from. There is a organised way in which things happen. People have jobs, much as they do here. One cannot simply walk around shirking one's duties or deciding when a soul is appropriate to be taken. If such things were the case, then imagine what chaos it would cause in your world. There are rules to these things and they must be followed.
If we knew where he was going to be, I don't know how this works, but it seems to me that you and your people want to bring him back.
Correct.
But the problem is we don't know where he is most of the time. But if he's bound to return what's mine, then we know that he'll have to come back to me at some point. What was it he said to you, Remulus?
He'd be coming back for what part of him I'm clinging on to.
So, he is going to be coming back for Remulus. So we know that he will be wherever Remulus is fairly soon, if he's planning something. Yes?
Depends what he's planning, but it's a reasonable supposition. I'll allow
It's
it.
an excellent supposition.
It's a reasonable one.
And
We haven't gone to the end of it yet.
given that for the first time we actually know where he's going to be, and we can choose exactly where that location is, can we not set a trap for him?
It's possible. I don't like it.
What's not to like? It's less walking.
Well, that doesn't factor heavily into my decision. What I don't like is that puts Romulus at risk.
Well, Remulus is already at risk.
Well, the less risk he's at, the better, I will say.
Exactly.
I'm concerned when Garxix returns to our place, what will happen to you? You are out of sync. She took you before your time, and now you're returned to life, but it is an odd kind of adjacent life to the one you had. They can't see so well. Your death stream. So I am bound at this point to protect you from his actions. So if we use Romulus in the way that you've described...
Well, it's not so much us using Remulus, it is that he is going to come for Remulus whatever we do. So is it not in all of our interests to make sure Remulus is in the safest place he can be, and that we are prepared to cause the...
Where would you propose we do this? Because I think outside of the city would be better. Mm-hmm. There's fewer people for him to draw on.
Somewhere... I don't know.
Whatever
Somewhere...
he's planning to do, if there are more people, then there are arguably more souls, which he can use to power it. Mm-hmm. One assumes if he's planning to return back for Romulus, then he may well elect to kick off whatever this is at the time.
How do you propose we defeat him? If we know that, then we know the best place. We can.
Well, I propose that I have a fight with him and beat him. That's what I propose.
I see.
In which I will kill him by your terms, and then return his soul to our place. That's what I propose. But I want a few other lives to be casualties of that combat as possible.
So somewhere away from the city.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know We need a means to stop him simply escaping if he sees things are going badly.
Right.
Somewhere we can...
Well, I was hoping you might help with that.
Well, I can make a cage for him.
This portal that he's using to traverse wherever he's traversing.
Yes.
These things are not known to me. But I'm wondering if, since you are exceptionally adept in the manner of making things, you might, and you have closed a gateway of his once before, that you might find a way to close it and therefore trap him with us. I wonder if examining this door he traversed through would be of assistance to you.
I can do that. It seems to me that if I'm present, I could probably make it difficult for him to open a door. I could try and close it. He won't like that, though.
No, well, whatever he doesn't like is beneficial from my perspective.
Do you think he can come through anywhere, or do you think he'll have to use this door again?
I think he can make the door anywhere. The door he went through, I've seen that door many times. It didn't, until he walked through it, appear at all unusual or resonate with any kind of sense that should mark it out as something unusual. So I suspect it is something he is doing, he is creating. No, since that's not, what is your word? It's not usual for my people to be able to do this. And one imagines he might have some sort of artifact or some sort of created thing that is doing it for him. That's a guess.
Well, I can look at this door for you. Maybe... Does anyone have any thoughts of places outside the city that would be good to lure him out to? Maybe places where... Perhaps they're in some kind of basin or bowl where it's harder for him to get out. A place where we could prepare some kind of cage or chains or something.
Certainly, I don't know the outskirts of the city well. I don't know about the two of you.
You do know who knows them, the hunter.
I might know someone who could help us. He's not often found within the city. He lives on the edge of town, but he mostly traverses outside. He could help us find a suitable place.
Oh, then that sounds like the beginnings of a plan.
Okay. So, who is accompanying Hazel to meet with this friend of hers?
I would.
Remulus.
I'll show you the door.
And you two.
Wait. I'll say it to you. Remulus should be in the safest place of all, or if they move before we do, this whole plan's for nothing.
Good point.
So
I can point you out the door and I'll travel with them.
Yes.
Okay.
all right.
So it's going to be the three of you going, and you will stay behind.
Yeah.
I'll show him where the door is and then he can...
Okay. So let's go with you three. So Hazel takes you to one of the side gates of the city that goes alongside one of the stream that comes down the mountains. It's not late yet. It's still, but it's not super lit because of the clouds, and there's a little bit of fog coming down. But the air is very cold and it's wet. It's very moist. Even though the rain has all but passed, the damp air and the buffeting winds, it makes for that kind of bone-chilling cold, the one that gets inside you, and it's there with you.
I dislike this. It's cold.
It happens.
It's hot where I come from.
And you start walking.
Surprised.
You start walking on a path that is used by herders and some of the farmers and the hunters, until you reach in the outskirts after a good half-hour walk the place of the hunter. And he is in his house, by the fire. Once you knock the door and introduce your friends, well, he knows Remulus since you were kids, and he has seen you around. So he is there, cleaning his crossbow and making some adjustments. There's a fire in the fireplace, and the place, you can hear the wind going in one sort of like badly patched window that was at first hitting. You know this because you've been there, and now he has put some of the hides, and they were packed really tight, and it makes this very unfortunate sound all day.
It is very unfortunate.
It's a very unfortunate sound because it's the hide.
I don't understand why this sound is unfortunate, but I'm parking myself by the fire.
Okay.
I'm so sorry that we dropped by unannounced. Is this a good time? Are you...
Yes.
It's unannounced. An incorrect protocol.
Oh, not at all. Not at all. Do you want anything? Do you want some tea, perhaps? A hot beverage? This is a man in his early 50s, perhaps, but doesn't look old. You see it in his face. He has a weathered face. He's been out in the elements with the white hair and the white beard. But he looks sharp and wiry. He has that very piercing gaze. But he has a very soft demeanor and a very pleasant smile.
A hot drink would be welcome, thank you.
Yes.
So he starts...
Thank you.
He puts the kettle on the fire. And he says, what brings you here?
We were wondering, since you're a bit more familiar with the with that side of town and the surrounding area, we were looking for a specific place. We're trying to...
We require a place where we can lure an individual where he might not be found in order to deal with him appropriately.
Hazel,
Yes?
care to explain?
Right, because trapping an individual where they might not be found is a very worrisome thing to say to people.
Oh, you needn't worry, because I'm the law. So it's above board.
That does not make this better.
Sorry. Hunter is still very... Actually, he's very worried that what he sees as his little girl, you know, is mixing with the wrong crowd. Even though you're wearing an arbiter's clothes, you look like a girl, like a young girl.
What I mean to say is, Hazel will explain.
Right, I will explain. The thing is, we are, It's really just part of this really elaborate prank. We're trying to surprise this person. We want to lure them somewhere unexpected, and probably... Well, yeah, I know she said where they wouldn't be found or able to return, but that's a bit of a stretch.
That is part of the prank. I smile, like ridiculously wide.
Remember to just focus on the tape. Nope. That's good.
He was like, you've always had your ways with me, young girl.
Mm-hmm.
But I know when you're lying because Remulus cannot tell a lie to save his life. But he's here with you.
Yes.
What is this about, and how can I help?
Hazel, we should just tell him the truth.
Yeah, I think that might be a smart idea.
Yeah, admits that. The one who did this.
You found them.
Yes.
He's found us.
And he wants to finish the job.
I plan on not allowing that to happen.
So,
You want to ambush him.
yes, we need a place to trap him.
We also need a place where there are as few other living people as possible. in case he attempts to draw on their power.
Is that guy related to? And he gestures at your fur.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah, I don't like the supernatural and.
No, you don't need to have anything to do with this. Just a location would be.
There is a place up in the mountains. It's like an all abandoned cabin. Small. Basically a wayfarer's place. People that are climbing all the way to the top to go down the other side. It's just abandoned. Travelers, hunters, or those who want to get lost, use it quite often. But during this season, where the rains aren't coming, it is a lot less use. I'll take you there myself.
Thank you.
Cannot remain with us. It will not be safe.
I'm not planning on, young lady.
Thank you.
Okay.
I got something for you.
Oh.
And he goes back to where he has, in one of the coffers he has his quiver with his bolts and stuff like that. And he brings out his belt with his 3 hunting knives, the ones he used for throwing. Here.
Hazel will obviously take it, put it on. Thank you. You.
If he gets close to you, you run.
Of course.
Same
Remulus
with all of you.
Yes.
From a distance. Do you need bows, crossbows?
I think I'll be good with the rest with the knives. really.
Would you need holy water?
I'm able to defeat him, but thank you for your offer.
Do you need holy water?
Do we need holy water?
What is holy water?
A water that has been consecrated by a priest.
Yes.
How does it differ from normal water?
It's holy.
Does that work against your kind?
No.
Wait. Her kind?
His kind. Sorry, it's been an eventful
It's
day.
the correct pronoun.
I am afraid that if I ask more questions,
Oh,
I think we
you
should
really
go.
don't. Thank you ever so much.
Thank you very much for your
I'll drop by again soon. I'll bring baked goods. It'll be fine.
yeah, bring cake.
I will.
He gives you a hug and a kiss on the cheek, and he pats you on the back. He's like, "Hey,
Thank you.
taking good care of her."
Always do.
And
of course, you very awkwardly pat him in the shoulder when you're on your way out, and he's like,
we're friends.
in the meantime, you're in the city.
Yeah.
I want you to do a dark force manipulation roll.
Yes.
Core power,
Yeah.
no power stunts.
Yeah.
When you try to reach out with the armor. Because you're going to stand there and you're going to see absolutely nothing. I can tell you for free. There's
Yeah.
nothing to see.
So it's whether I can sense something with the other.
But if you can sense a residue of sorts.
So I got a green check.
You feel something. You feel a resonance, but not enough for you to say, hey, there's a lingering thing, a portal.
So I don't know what it is, but I think something is.
Something did happen.
Something happened here. Do I think there's something still here, or do I think it's something that just...
No, I think you think it was temporary, very fleeting, as in the veil was rendered and immediately sewn shut afterwards. Nothing could come in and out, in a way that could affect things badly.
Okay. Well, in that case, I will have a look at the door from a craftsman's point of view. Obviously, I don't normally make doors, but I will look at things like the hinges and the handle to see if it's had any effect on the door itself. So what I'm thinking is, if when he does this, it leaves a mark of its passing, it might be a thing we can identify in the future.
So you're going to do well, it's basically a craftsmanship, which is a reason. Oh, I think you have it on your sheet. The craft. Yes. Which uses reason, so for you it's probably something ridiculous.
It's quite good, yeah.
Yeah, it's monstrous. That's the definition according to the ranks.
So I got a red check.
You do in fact find something.
Uh-huh.
So in the wood,
Yes.
where Megara told you he pushed open to the door, there is a slight imprint. Slight. And you can only see this because it was raining. Mm-hmm. But that is the only part of the wood that is completely dry. Like a little fingerprint. Where he just pushed the tip of a couple of fingers. And you see that sort of aura. It's dry. The water has gone around it, even as it went down. It just avoided it. And the wood there is slightly darker, with a very slightly. And if you look in the right angle, there is the tiniest of sparkles. But you know it's not light being reflected. You have felt it sometimes. It's light being swallowed.
So this is the light. So there is some residue of the energy.
Of dark force, yeah.
And it's specifically in the place where he touched.
Yes, that's so small and so tenuous that you had a hard time using the powers of your armor, in trying to
find it.
For
but now that I've studied the door, I've got an idea.
Yeah.
And I may have no idea at all, but now that I can see where he put his fingers, and I know a little bit about this kind of energy, do I think I could try and push... I'm not going to do it, but do I think I could potentially try and push the door where he did to open the door in the way he did?
You can certainly try.
I'm not going to try. I just thought, hypothetically speaking...
Hypothetically speaking, yes.
Awesome.
You most definitely could try it.
Yeah, you'd look at me and say rolls and dice or something.
Yes, and it is... so some of your powers, you can get a little creative and crazy with them. So I have already told you, Bex, that in that fateful day in which Remulus died, you used your essence draining power in a manner that you have never used it. You used it backwards. You gave whatever life essence you stole from Garcex and put it into Remulus to give him back the breath of life. That is called a power stunt. You can use your abilities in creative ways, and if it's something that you can do, then I will tell you, well, you can roll and you need a red check on your power the first time you do it. Then you need yellow checks, a couple of them, and then green checks, and then you have it. Okay?
Gotcha.
So what you would be attempting to do is use your dark force manipulation at -10 on your roll. It's basically -2 columns.
Yeah.
To gain the dimensional travel power.
Okay.
And you can do it because of the powers you already know now.
Okay.
So you, on a desperate circumstance, you could try to replicate that power.
Okay. I'm going to wait until I've got some backup. But it's good to know. I'll probably go back out of the rain into my smithy.
Okay. And you three go back home?
Yep.
Okay. That night, you have nightmares, Remulus. And the nightmares wake you up. And you realize it's not that you're having bad dreams. You're just you're coming back to that night. Now that he's been there, you're coming back not to the moment in which you died, which the moment you woke up. The moment that his essence was given to you and it was out of control in your body. The moment in which a shard of crystal was pushed into your chest. And then the hours of pain and loneliness until finally Hazel comes back covered in blood. Not hers, as she repeated once and twice and many times. But she was there, and she was scared, she was trembling, but she was giving you the medicine that she had found. And you just sit down. It has started to rain again, and you hear the light patter of rain on the outside. It doesn't have to be this way, you know? This time it's not in your head. Your friend the blacksmith. And as the figure comes out, you can recognize Garsik's sort of mortal form. You have seen his true form, but it's the same man who was in the smithy today. Fidrick, his soul, it was forfeit in hell. We made a deal. We made a bet and he won. I can get his soul back. But it's not exactly easy. You see, the person who holds his soul will not let it go that easily. And I am, thanks to Megara, no longer welcome. That's why I was telling him to come and help me. But I realize now that probably his armor is not going to be enough. He will not survive the winds of pandemonium, of the abyss. He will not survive the ashes and the fire. You, however, you can.
By this point, his hand snuck under his pillow.
Okay. Into your wand.
Yeah.
So what do you say, Remulus? You want to save your friend's soul and in the same maneuver save yours as well? Yours is tied to the abyss. But if you help me free myself from that realm, from what you call hell, then your soul is free as well. And also, my essence will give you a long, long life. Effectively mortal. You know, if we're talking human terms. What do you say?
Get out.
I had to ask. Are you sure?
One comes out and I blast him.
Okay, and that's where we're gonna go for a break.
Yep.
So, I think we don't have much of a super crazy interval, although in our regular chronicle, Blood on the Thameses, we have a relationship map, and it had some changes that will be, well, we will discuss them today and probably gloss over them next week as well, in case someone misses them. So, yes. Bex?
And I will have obviously corrected my errors by then. So there will be an additional update. So on the map this week, we added Heather Kim, who actually appeared a little while ago. Was it episode 1? Mm-hmm. But I neglected to add her. So Lane highlighted that. So thank you, Lane. Hope you're here. Maybe you're here. Maybe not. Then I connected the Thin Bloods as a coterie. and added a connection between them and Joanne.
I didn't know that. Are they a coterie amongst themselves?
Well, I mean,
They're the closest thing to.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was it was a kind of a useful thing. Then I added the major boon that exists between Theodore and Margot. Although I have called it a life boon, which is not correct, so I'll fix that.
It's a major boon. It feels like a life boon to me.
It feels
All
like
the best major boons do.
So it's a purple dotted line on the map. So when you see it on the map, you'll see that it's listed as a life boon, but that's not right. I should focus on the correct stuff. I updated the minor boon which exists between Velvet and Matthew Smith. So that was from Series 1. Because I was creating connections that were around boons, I created one for minor boon.
Okay, yes.
That's a dotted yellow line. Then
Did you add the one between Velvet and Theo?
No.
Because we didn't register it?
Yeah, because we didn't register it, but I could add it, and I could add the one between him and
Anne.
Because ultimately,
Secret
it's
boons.
more boons,
Actually,
less people want you to die. So come on.
yeah, but
Have the secret boons.
both of them are secret boons. Those are fake venture boons.
I mean, I take them seriously. As seriously as I take anyway. Then I added the connection between Joanne and Amanda Gregory as a mauler. That's a dotted grey line. And then last of all, I should say, I added Angharad's artwork for Meliore, which is brilliant, really fantastic. So thank you so much for that.
I mean, her pose.
Yeah,
She is like. I mean, the geriatric femme fatale.
Yeah.
Talk about like attitude in that. Angharad, amazing.
I'm glad she's got artwork for her to
Yeah.
sign when you kill her.
Don't remind me. Well, she has been immortalized.
Yes, she has been immortalised. And then I did a pentagram version of the map.
Yes, it exists, and I saw it, and it's madness.
It's real.
Oh my god.
It is real, but what I've utterly failed to communicate to Peter or anyone else was that it's on a drop down from the main map, so you can't see it on a website. You have to go to Kumu directly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or I can find some other way to do it. So, Miss Some Reason did tweet me about it and said this was just a joke. I haven't caused you more work. No, you haven't. I loved it. These two will tell you that I basically was like, this is a great idea. I can't wait to spend ages moving this. I mean, I would say it makes no sense now.
No. It's a nice shape, but everything's bonkers.
I've missed a few lines out, so the pentagram is implied rather than physically there.
We could probably just put a picture of it on the next blog post.
Yes, that's what
Yeah.
Really easy to
Yeah,
do.
so I mean it's sort of saved there, but yes, it was really good fun. So thank you for that. I enjoyed doing it. And that's it. That's it on the relationship.
That's
map.
it. And
From next week's corrections.
and of course this week's shout outs. Well, there was a blog post yesterday, so we're going to go again with shout outs. Kasira64, thank you for the blood sweets. We're going to be having them next week. And of course Angharad for the Meliore art. This week is Callum Appreciation Week. He's our resident Engel. Also, we have a live audience today, and it's not Kirsty. Woohoo!
Yeah.
She.
Last time I checked.
So we have our live audience as well today, and a guest player in Kirsty. Thank you very much. Big shout out to her playing Hazel. Do we have any questions, Callum?
Oh, we have plenty. First one for Kirsty, though.
Oh.
Can you do a Sipkerstag impression?
Wait, and I'm Latino, you know.
Oh God. I'm really not sure.
Oh boy, I cannot do it. I struggled last week. Next.
Okay, question for you, Carlos. What does CARLOS actually stand for?
Carlos Amazing Revenge Leiden. otherworldly stories. I had to make an effort to memorize that because Peter came up with it. I didn't. I had the equivalent of writer's block, but for someone who's not a writer and also very lazy at coming up with names. And Peter was like, what's the name of it? I need a name for the blog post. And I was like, yeah, I'll let you know. And then I proofread the blog post and he already named it. And I was like, I love it. I'm not changing it.
It's done.
Yeah.
The Velvet Riley approach to naming things.
Yeah.
So I've got the suggestion of Carlos's astoundingly riveting, lovely one-shot.
Yeah.
Nice.
You're amazing. Also, Carlos is like one of my grandparents' name, so that's what it stands for in my family. Other than that, every acronym that is nice or sexy, that's it. It's either or, actually both. Next.
Another one for you, Carlos. How did you actually come up with the idea for this one-shot? What's the inspiration?
Dream I had. It sounds awful. So in my phone, one of the things I have on my main screen of my phone is voice notes, like for you to be able to record voice notes immediately. Like you just hit it, it opens, I record. And I have it to record dreams that mark me in any way that I find super interesting or super weird. Sometimes it's a lovely dream in which I dream of someone from my past that I have not even thought of. You know, that those people you have even forgotten that you have forgotten about them. Like you even forgot that you forget. And for this one, I half came up with the idea with a dream that I used to have, a somewhat recurring dream about like this sort of place and situations and moving from one place to another. And together when the players were creating the characters, we were fleshing out how would they be together, and the whole concept of Garsex came to life. So that's how we created the villain. The world pretty much lives in my subconscious and comes in when I'm sleeping. It's awful. I'm not crazy. My mom also had me tested, although I'm not Sheldon Cooper. Next.
All right. If you can be any supernatural creature, what would it be? And this is a question for everyone.
Okay, so starting from Peter, any supernatural creature and moving to the right. So I assume supernatural of any sense or mythological? Any
at all. I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking ones that are sort of long-lived and have fluffy, easy lives. I'd probably quite like to be some kind of like boozy tree spirit or something.
Boozy tree spirit. So like an ant.
No, well, kind of. I was thinking more like this kind of more elfin.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Trees getting drunk, fey-like.
Okay.
I think I'd like to be a fey prince or something.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be a fey prince.
Kirsty?
Ooh, never really thought about it. I'd probably... Actually, I'd like to be somewhat similar to Hazel in the ways that you could use like alchemy and stuff.
Okay. But also her other abilities. Yes. Okay, so they will come.
They'll come.
Bex?
This is difficult to answer. I mean,
Yeah.
they mostly have shit lives. I guess I'd probably go... No, come back to me.
Okay, Phil?
I mean, I do have a love of dragons, but a close second would be merfolk.
Merfolk, nice.
Let's see. Yeah, I know.
For me, it's kind of easy, guys. Depending on what you like, if you like Marvel or DC, I would be either Asgardian or Atlantean. In both cases, you are tough as nails. Like, doesn't matter. You can do like cordless bungee and nothing will happen to you. Also, you have stupidly long lives, and also immediately abs. Buff, hot, sexy. Atlantean or Asgardian.
Oh, come on, you're sexy anyway.
Yeah, but sexy-er.
With the abs.
Oh, and hair. They come with hair. Both of them. So one is spacefaring and they survive in vacuum, and the other one survive under the sea and breathe water. So yeah, noble Asgardian or noble Atlantean for me. Sign me up. Bex?
I'd probably go one of the muses, one of the ancient Greek muses.
One of the daughters of Mnemosyne,
Or somebody like
Melpomene,
Yeah.
Calliope, Terpsichores, Clio. They're 9. Next, Urpiana.
Alright, cool.
There are
My
5
question. Kirsty.
Kirsty.
Okay, so I'm going to try and pronounce this first.
Oh shit.
Chat wants you to say, Hotten, Totten, 10, 10, 10, 2,
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
Is that a tongue twister in Dutch?
Really? Why is that question directed at me and not at everyone?
Because it's probably Manuk.
No, it was
doubts.
Birdie.
Oh, great. Hi there, Nerdbirdie. I want to listen to this as well because
I mean, it's pronounced Hottentotten and Tentententoonstelling. And now I'd like to hear all of you try that.
It's what now? Can we write it down?
It's a lot of T's. Hottentotten and Tentententoonstelling.
Totten, a Tenten, Stellan.
Stelling.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
And give me a B when I can do that.
Dutch is a very hard language to learn. Like I know, I live there. I only still say the few. Well, Christy, I've heard like, dankjewel, eet smakelijk,
It's Marvel.
lekker kontje. But moving on. I mean, the essentials, the absolute
That
essentials.
was the final question, I think.
I think that's fine.
That was the final. No. Carlos asked a question. Where are my chocolate fingers? Like I don't know where I put them. You were having that amazing conversation. I was like, where's my Jaffa cakes or chocolate
Do you
fingers?
like these?
Just throw.
I mean, I'm not from here.
I can't see that.
That's why Callum rocks. No, yes, and remember, Callum Appreciation Week. Yeah, whatever. Brilliant.
I ran out of
I'll
fingers,
myself
so...
back.
Thank you very much. Yeah, because I have a prediction
Uh-oh.
Okay.
that you 4 are gonna sit down and discuss the best way to ambush the guy. So I'm gonna have plenty of time to go through at least a couple of these.
Okay, so our plan's set, right?
I mean... There's a slight issue with that.
We just hit
Aren't you about to
Blast the fuck out of him.
Could you please use your projectile missile skill and tell me the type of fit that it is? Because I'm trying to evade.
It is a red.
Ow.
It's a 97 and it's a red.
And I don't evade. What's the power rank of the
40.
40? Ouch. Okay. So you take out the wand and you immediately materialize, like you send. It's not energy. It's not force. It's something that it materializes like in the air. It's sort of like the stuff of magic that for a second is made real. It hits him concussively and then vanishes. But he gets flung against the wall. And he's holding his side.
Ouch.
That was the wrong move.
I don't know.
And he dodges by just disappearing against your wall.
Mm-hmm.
Make an intuition roll, please.
Make an intuition roll. Okay. White.
Ooh. He fell through what looks to be like a hole in the wall. But imagine that behind him there was this sort of gauze. And that it had a hole and just he threw himself there. So the gauze is still, you can see it. It's like a gossamer thing. And it's mesmerizing.
Oh dear.
Because it's soothing. You stop feeling the itch around the crystal while that's there. And you feel the pull of it. Make a psyche check.
Psyche, that is a green.
Green, okay. You don't have to approach it if you don't want to. But it's your call. You feel physically better if you get closer to it.
I'm going to slowly back towards the door.
Okay.
And through the door as soon as that outside. Run find Hazel.
Which we should have done in the first place.
You do see as you're opening the door and leaving the place that the gossamer starts getting stiffer and stiffer until it just closes back on you. Middle of the night. This only happens when you are needed to heal someone, or in this case, when Romulus is at your door, which is not usual.
Okay. The door opens. Oh, okay. Hey, it's all right. What happened?
He was in my room.
Okay. Come in. You should probably stay here for the night. I'll see what I can do. Hold on. Try to makeshift a bed. Something for him to sleep in.
You have a couple that you use for people that are like patients of yours that you have to keep an eye 24/7. So
Hazel will probably want to be by his side as well. So he was in your room. What happened? What did he say?
He said that apparently V's soul is in a place. Something like he can't get access to it. And that V's armor, although strong, isn't strong enough to survive that area. But apparently I am.
I see. Well, I'm glad you're here now. Are you feeling all right? Did he do anything to you?
I got him. I got him good. And then he backed through the wall, literally into the wall in this weird portal. I'm thinking, which was soothing when I was close to it.
It was still there.
As I was backing away, I think it closed.
I
But
see.
it soothed.
That doesn't... I mean, it's...
And it was tempting, and because it was tempting in that way, I know that was not good, but...
I'm glad you came to find me. We'll talk to the others first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Is there anything you need? Anything I can do?
I don't think there's anything we can do now, but I think until this is over, stay close.
I will. Of course I will. You should just stay here until all this ends. If he's really targeting you, you shouldn't be alone.
Yeah, I think we should have figured that out sooner.
Maybe so. Again, a lot happened.
Yeah.
Are you alright? Hazel's probably going to want to check that.
Yeah.
And what you can see from his body and the crystal and the contraptions that he has for like his hand and other places that he needs, still working okay. It's not like he has any infections or like rejection of material. Yes, it looks. It's still difficult to look at. I mean, you were raised together. You've known each other all your life. It's still hard to see some bolts into his flesh, or the crystal, or buckles, or things. Also, the scars he has, where he was torn down by claws, or blasted with this sort of infernal flame. And those are wounds that, even though you know they've healed, they are still sore. They must feel painful, and they look really. He must be feeling on the inside very uncomfortable.
There's probably something that you could make for him that will at least temporarily.
Yes, you soothe them like ointments and a soothing drink, things like that. It's basically just providing comfort to him.
Yes.
And also the company and the purpose. Megara, following morning, you are attending a couple of cases before you put your matters into order and then move on.
Yep.
One of the cases is a woman who's brought to you, and she is crying. She's been accused of murdering her husband in his sleep.
Who else is there? Is there?
The person accusing her is the husband's lover.
Okay. And presumably we have evidence the husband is actually dead.
Oh, the guy's dead.
The guy's dead. Okay.
The guy is, like, the guards said, hey, the man's dead, and the mistress is accusing the wife.
So I will hear the evidence from both sides.
Well,
Whatever evidence they want to put forward.
what the mistress says is that probably she found out that the husband was having an affair and killed him in jealousy and rage.
Possibly, but that's no form of evidence.
The woman said, I just went to bed holding on to my husband and was woken up this morning by the cold blood at dawn.
So the mistress has no evidence of any kind that this woman was a perpetrator of the crime.
No, but the guard did tell you that the guy was in his bed, dead, stabbed.
So he's clearly been killed by somebody.
Yeah. In his bed.
What's my reading of this woman? Is it...
The woman is half bathed in blood, by the way.
Okay. Additional information.
I mean, she was in the bed where the guy bled to death.
Okay. Yes, exactly. So my reading of... You said she's really upset. She's crying.
Yeah, she is absolutely...
What's my reading of her? Does she seem... Can I see if I think she seems the jealous type?
Very difficult to see in this sort of distressed state.
Okay.
But this person looks to be more in shock. Like the kind of distress that she feels upset more because she's in shock.
Okay.
Of being surprised. It's not the shock that you get from the realization of, oh my God, I killed somebody, which is a face you have seen in people in the past, or souls that have come to you.
Yeah.
It's more of what is this? Oh my God, this person died, or is dead.
Yeah.
But your intuition, your otherworldly intuition, tells you that if the husband's lifeline passed through her, it was not for her to end it. So it doesn't necessarily look like she could have done it.
Okay. So this has just happened, or like they
Last night.
It's happened last night. Okay.
Middle of the night, she was in bed, And then this morning, rolling in bed with the cold, the guy must have been dead for hours.
Yeah.
That's when she wakes up thinking the worst, either something in the roof or someone paid themselves, doesn't matter.
So I'm not prepared to sentence her.
You don't have to
based on
sentence
this.
her.
I am wanting the guard, I presume it's the guard rather than the police. It's like a militia or something.
Yeah, yes,
like that,
militia, yeah.
I am wanting them to. Well, my instruction to them would be to carry out an investigation to look for other potential suspects. In the meantime, I will release this woman on her own cognizance.
Okay.
Assuming that's in my remit.
Well, it somewhat is.
Yeah.
Like right now, as long as she stays, custody, the guard that has told you that nothing seems to be out of order in his house.
Yeah. Okay. But I mean, I still don't feel like she's necessarily the guilty party. And I certainly, even were I to feel that way, I have sympathy with her. So for that reason, I am, I have sympathy with jealous rage. So I,
Roll intuition, please.
Okay.
That is Bex rolling her 1d100.
White. I got 4.
Oh yes, that's a white check.
I don't know I looked yet. I think no matter what. Yes.
Yeah, basically that's your gut feeling tells you
My gut feeling.
you don't have enough.
Even if she murdered him in jealous rage, that's fine. So,
Well, not according to the human laws, but according to you. So
yes,
yeah.
according to me, yeah, which is the law that matters. So I will, I'll instruct them to let her go, and to conduct an investigation into who actually did this.
Okay.
And I will, also remind the guards that next time they bring somebody before me, they ought to bring actual evidence, and not just the mistress who didn't see anything and wasn't there.
Well, the guy tells you it's very clear, arbiter. I mean, the man is dead in his bed with the wife, and the wife has said that they both went to bed together,
Yes.
but only one woke up.
Well, I suppose we can see in your assessment here the reason why I'm the arbiter and you're not.
And he just looks at you and says, "Yes, ma'am."
There are any number of other reasons why this could have happened. I won't tutor you in all of them, but suffice to say, if you think hard enough, I'm sure you can come up with an appropriate suspect.
And he turns around and takes his leave without you approving of it. He doesn't care.
Okay.
So, after a normal day of getting ready, I assume you were going to meet
Yes.
to be taken by the hunter all the way to this cabin in the woods.
Yes.
Which has nothing to do with the film. Just
Yeah.
It's a lot of
Before
steps.
we leave town, I would like to say something to this lot.
yes, absolutely.
Also, did you have any luck yesterday?
What, finding somewhere?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, actually.
Hazel's friend is going to show us.
Yes.
Also, I had an idea relating to you, Romulus. But I think perhaps that's better discussed when we get to where we're going.
Perhaps so.
In addition to that, he visited me last night.
What?
Yeah.
What? He visited you?
Yes.
Well, what did he say?
He said that to where your soul is kept, he no longer has access to due to Langara.
Oh. It's interesting because it's not my problem. But yes, go on.
And also said that you could potentially go there yourself. However, your armor would not be strong enough.
You really shouldn't go there.
But apparently, I would be strong enough to go there.
But you also shouldn't be going there.
I am well aware.
Okay.
Why do you think I should?
I know.
Also, it's not about strength, it's more about heat resistance.
Why is Megara surprised that you were visited last night? Well, I'm assuming you were all together after the whole point was that you would stay together in case he moved on Remulus before we were ready, and that would make our plan invalid.
Yes, that's not exactly what happened.
No.
No.
Small
Oversight.
on our part.
Yeah.
Technical oversight, one might call it.
There are a lot of other names one might call it.
But all's
right.
well that ends well, because he's here.
Well,
Yeah.
aren't we lucky?
And you said something about the doorway.
What about it?
When I blasted his fucking ass,
Wait, where did you hit him?
yeah,
Where? Whereabouts did you hit him?
lower stomach area.
Okay.
Before I could get another shot in, he went through one portal into the wall, which the presence was soothing
Soothing in what regard?
to the wounds and this crap.
You mentioned it lingered.
But I, of course, I think wisely got away,
Yes, it's very wise.
and it seemed to close. What have you?
Does that resonate with what you saw?
Well, on the subject of lingering, I went and examined the door, and there is a lingering mark after what he'd done. I don't think it will be easy or advisable necessarily, but I think I might be able to open the door again. If it's a place where he's already done it. Won't be easy, but it's possible.
That presumably means if you come with us to where we're going and he shows up there, you can keep that door closed.
I can certainly try. And if he escapes, it means we could try and follow him.
Yes. Although, I'm not exactly sure where he's escaping to. Did you see the other side? Can you describe what it looked like?
It looked like a veil to me. I did not approach.
Okay. Sensible.
Yeah.
Well, it's difficult to tell what would be on the other side of that. But certainly, if the veil wasn't obscuring something, that doesn't look like the place where I'm from.
You said he's up to something.
Yes.
If we can follow him where he's going, we might be able to learn what that is.
Or, I could kill him, take him back, and then that would be fine.
Yes, or you can do that.
I mean, if he's not in this world, it doesn't matter what he's planning, he can't cause trouble.
Well, I hope he is trying to fulfill his end of the bargain.
I hope for your
I
sake.
assume there is some kind of punishment if he doesn't.
Do I know if that's the case? If he's made a pact that he's obliged to keep, and he can't do that, do I know what sort of punishment he would suffer?
Well, depending on the type of pact, but effectively he would be undone by a superior.
Oh, good. Well, it's in my interest is to stop him from fulfilling this pact. I'll say, well, yes, you're right. If he doesn't uphold his end of the pact, then depending on the pact itself, its nature and the nature of the breach, any number of things could happen to him. He could be undone from existence, even.
Excellent.
I agree.
That means he'll be very motivated to do it.
Means we could just let him not do it, and then our problems will be over.
Wrong.
No, correct. I mean, I'm not quite sure why you're not seeing this. This is a very obvious way to resolution.
It's a way to resolve your problem.
Yes.
I'm very happy to help resolve your problem after we've resolved my problem.
Now, well, I think my problem existed before your problem, and so therefore it gets first priority in resolution.
I couldn't disagree more.
Well, you're free to disagree.
Thank you.
I think that while this is happening, Hazel is like making preparations to stay up at this cabin for maybe a few days, just in case.
Yeah.
So, like they're
And
like
Remulus is helping.
walking down the street, going into some shops, and these two are just bickering as they go along, right?
Reason checks from both of you, Peter and Max.
Just straight reason.
Straight reason.
Oh wow. It's a white check for me.
It is yellow for me.
Okay, from the conversation from what Remulus said, just what you got, like, yeah, it was stupid for them to split in whatever.
Like right there, absolutely.
Now, from the what you get from the conversation is slightly different. Remulus was in his room,
Yes.
and then the guy showed up out of nowhere,
Which is consistent with what we know he's capable of, correct?
and then left without a trace.
He said there was a trace in the wall.
And then disappeared.
Okay,
It's
fine.
just slight lingering. He could have died, and no one would have known. No one would have been the wiser.
So where are they? In relation?
They're around.
They're like we're just preparing
Yeah.
to leave.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're probably in the blacksmith, and they are in the shops nearby.
I'll find him. Wherever they are.
Hang on, I'm assuming that we're all together because if our
Yes, like
he's wandering off on his own.
no, he's with Hazel. She's with Hazel, probably on the other side of the street. I mean, right there in the markets. Yeah.
Fine. In which
He's
case,
not alone.
in which case, I'll make my way over to wherever he is. Having made this realization, and I'll say, Romulus,
Yeah.
it was a foolish action for us to leave you alone last night. Frederick has the right of it. Much as it pains me to say it.
I know.
But what is right, and it cannot be denied. And I owe you an apology in that regard. Should get this matter resolved. And on the subject of that, I had a thought, for which I might in fact need both of your help.
Here we go.
Alright.
I'm listening.
But just to be clear, I'm not offering you a pact of any kind at this point.
I'm not sure if I'd want that.
No, I suspect Frederick might.
He might want the clarification.
I'd like to know what you're asking.
So, when Garxix came here, and he attacked you, you were rescued by the actions of all the people here that day. But I took a part of Garxix's essence and channeled it back into you. It was a backwards ritual, something which I normally would use to take life to give it back.
Yeah.
But it's that I think is connecting him to you, based on what you've said. Now my thought was, and I have at the moment only the thought and not so much of an idea how to go right about achieving it, is that we could resolve that by attempting to remove that part of his essence from you and replace it with another one. And then he would have no connection to you. He might have less cause to look for you.
But don't we want him to look for Romulus? That's the whole point of this exercise, to lure him here.
He's going to have to come based on your pact regardless.
That's true.
I have some other concerns about doing that. What would happen to him if you were to remove whatever?
But if I replace the essence with another essence...
Yes, but
at
how
that
much time would that take?
point- I don't know.
And in the moment that he would be without, what happens?
I suppose technically speaking he'd be dead. Well, like he was before. But as you know, that's a transitory state.
How do you feel about this, Remulus?
I'm suggesting I give you my essence, or a part of it.
But
That does sound like a pact to me.
isn't the essence part of your strength?
In your terms, yes, I suppose.
Then, if so long as I'm holding on to this part of his essence,
Then he's going to want it back.
and it keeps him weaker,
Well, it does until he tears it out of you, yeah.
I mean, it still means he's weaker as you feel it up. And as much as I'm flattered, I'd rather you be in the best possible position to fuck him up.
It's your choice. I'm not suggesting in any way that it's enforced upon you, but it was a thought. But if you don't want it, then conversation starts and ends there.
Not that I wouldn't want it, is that risk is too much risk.
You're right, it is risky, but it's no more risky than anything else we're proposing, I don't think. But anyway, that's a close of the matter.
So you're getting ready to to meet with the hunter and go to this
Yeah.
hut.
Yes.
Essentially.
It's a long hike. Long. It takes you more than a few hours to get there.
This is so many steps.
Yes.
It's a lot of steps. Why do you have to take so many steps?
You leave there before noon. By the time you get there, it's already night.
Oh.
He makes sure that the place is not in great shape. It's not too big. The only stonework that you can see is one of the walls in which you can see the very telling form of a chimney, so for a fireplace. The rest is made, like big planks and logs. It's wooden roof as well. Now the shape of it's kind of odd, as if it was placed there, and then the ground has slowly shifted, so the floor is not flat even. Like there is clearly a part of the indoors. There's clearly a part that is slightly higher than the other. And the part that is slightly higher is actually the one that is furthest away from the chimney. The part that is tipped down, like downhill, is the stonework of the chimney. Now, it's just one sort of like an open plan thing. It's just one big room.
Is there a fire?
He makes a fire, but he tells you that the big important thing about this is where you spend the night. The area you want is this small clearing by the cliffs, about 2 hours walk from here. It's very windy.
Right.
And you cannot see the cliffs until it's too late. And by that, wind buffets you, you're a goner.
I ask him, how long will this wind keep up? Is this commonplace for the mountains?
In that area, usually it's a common part of the wind.
Right, okay.
What varies is the strength of it. So it's strongest at around nightfall, like before dusk.
Noted. Thank you. Will you stay here this evening?
Oh yeah, I'm not walking 6-8 hours
Good.
downhill in the dark.
but I was going to suggest not.
I'll just keep watch for a while. And then he just stays there. Has like a very simple meal with bread and cheese. And if some of you have trouble sleeping, you will see that he doesn't. Like something just clicks in him when he goes like, yeah, this is quite enough. Boom.
At some point in the evening, I want to leave the house, go out, and try and fly around and get a feel for the wind,
Okay.
so that I'm not at a disadvantage tomorrow.
So you see Megara going out into the rain.
Okay.
You're right.
Yes, I need to make sure I'm prepared for tomorrow.
Stay safe.
So,
Stay good.
Megara,
Yes.
can you see in the dark?
I don't know, can I?
As good as a mortal could.
As well as you? Yes.
Thank you.
I don't often do that.
You transform.
Yep.
You shed this mortal coil that you have learned to use,
Yeah.
and finally stretch out your body, your legs, your arms, your wings. There. Describe your true form
Oh, so
for our viewers.
it is a kind of a large set of wings with black feathers, very, very tough skin that has kind of the texture and colour of rock. So it's a very inhuman looking kind of form. Otherwise than that, it's, I suppose, broadly bipedal, but it doesn't really look, I mean, it would be tough to tell gender from this creature. There are, I guess, like horns which come from, or spikes that come from various parts of the body. And I guess nobody is seeing this, but from the point of taking off, the wingspan will be very large. So if someone wasn't like looking up from the sky, it would certainly look abnormal.
Yeah.
It's not like the size of a bird, a large one. So,
That bird's not playing.
yep,
It's a very inhuman look.
yep.
And you first fly up, and right after you leave the treetop line, with no longer having that barrier there, the natural barrier that the trees make, you can feel the winds, and the winds are strong.
So normally I would be gliding, or I'd be looking for air currents to glide on.
Yeah, right now you're trying to gain altitude.
Yep.
But if you're gonna look for a current, it might drag you quite a way away, and it's not like, even though the cabin is the only light in this side of the mountain, gain enough altitude, and with the rain you will not be able to see it.
So I want to practice flying, like hovering in the same space, because I will have to adjust myself to remain where I am, because I'm imagining I'm being pushed by the wind.
Yes.
So it's that kind of thing that I want to do.
Can you do a flight check, please?
Yeah. What does that come under?
Flight.
Where is that? Oh yeah.
Powers. Flight.
That's green.
Green. It'll take you a few hours to do it. So it's not going to be like an easy thing. It'll take you almost half the night.
Okay.
Okay?
So I'm kind of around outside, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like going up and down, and sometimes like
Yeah.
regaining your strength and just going up again. Anything else you're doing over the course of the evening?
Yeah, I'm going to say, Hazel,
Yes.
are you able to hunt when it's dark? Very dark.
Yes, I suppose I should be able to.
Could you find your way if it was dark? Could you lead Remulus through a dark place if need be?
I imagine so.
Good.
Any particular reason?
I'm thinking about if we face this Garxix and Seems to me if Megara can't see well in the dark, then perhaps he can't either. But I know that you don't always rely on those senses.
That is true.
Just want to turn things in our favour, that's all.
Yeah.
No, that could definitely work.
And if things are going badly, you could be the one to get Romulus away.
Yes. Yeah.
And if things are going well, you could be the one to make his life worse.
I'm fairly certain I'll be capable of that.
As am I.
Romulus, what are you doing?
And just quite listening in and seeing if there's any change to.
You wanna check with your crystal? You resonate with it? Can I get a psychic check from you?
Bad idea, I know, but fucking hell. You ever read?
Okay. Red is good. Red check is good. White would have been amazing for me. So you're trying to figure out what it is. Right now, what you're trying to feel, like right now, is you're using it sort of like a spidey sense. You are not feeling any tingling, anything. Actually, the sort of like the cold breeze and everything, it's not making you shiver right now. It just feels calming, soothing, like cold water over a burn. You still feel the pain, and you still are half numb, but it feels way better. So you can uncover, just like you would put like a wet cloth over a wound to clean it and also to keep it soothing. Just the temperature and the breeze and the slow, soft cracking and groaning of the wood in the fireplace as it just with the fire. It lulls you to sleep, and it's not a bad dream. It's the first decent piece of sleep you've had, probably in months. After after a little over half of your night trying to make it happen, you now feel confident in sort of like which winds, updrafts, downdrafts, how they feel. So yeah, you're feeling confident that you can have that slight advantage.
And then come back and go to sleep.
Then you go back to the ground, transform back into, and a very wet, naked arbiter comes in.
I don't care if I'm naked, I fool him.
I know. She sort of dries herself, only because she wants to sit down in front of the fire, ridiculously close to the fire, and then covers herself with the hides and the blankets that she has. You doing anything for the course of the night?
Nothing that clever, I don't think.
Following day comes, and the hunter, true enough, takes you to a place where you can hear the wind whistling through the trees. And at some point, he just says, careful. And if you walk slowly in the direction he tells you, you're walking downwards on a hill, and a little bit of a hill. And of course, some of the trees are somewhat packed together, but there's also sort of like smaller trees. Not very common. You do know that when you have tall trees, there's not a lot growing in the ground. But this have other helechos, which is like, I will remember the word and we'll say it. These ones that are more, they usually grow with less light. A lot less. So they just hamper visibility. But not much. You take a step, move one aside, and you can see 4 meters in front of you. Even with the rain, because you're being protected. But at some point, there are no more trees. And that's when you realize it. That the hill with all the trees and with the last row of trees right on the edge. And then it's just a drop. How many trees behind? Because when you are like 3 or 4 trees behind, you can already see, like you don't see any more ground.
Up ahead.
Yeah. If you're like 4 trees behind, you know there is a drop.
Okay.
Beyond that, it might look like when a hill steep and then it just changes the angle. So you need to be closer to see the ground over that step.
This is where we're proposing to have it out with him.
He says that there is a small clearing, sort of, the hunter is the one taking you there, sort of sideways up, in which this sort of situation, like, it's a lot easier to get distracted and walk in the wrong direction.
Right.
And you don't have to walk many paces until you're, like, if you're wanting to ambush someone, you just have to get him stand as close to that edge as possible.
Do I have an expectation that Garxos can fly?
You have not seen him with wings? No. That is something that the arenas and people like you have.
Okay.
You do know he has 4 arms and a long tail that,
4 punches to take.
and a long tail that is effectively a whip.
Okay.
Plus the claws and the fangs and the poison and.
But if he fell over a cliff edge, it wouldn't go well for him.
No, it wouldn't go well for him.
Whereas if I fell over a cliff edge, I'd be fine.
Yes.
So, okay.
With your 2 arms.
My shield. If I was thrown over it with 4 arms, I'd be fine. So, okay.
So this is isolated,
This looks good.
and the clearing can be used for anything. People come here and use it for rituals during the summer festivities, meeting up, lovers, inevitable. But more than one person has never come back.
I would like to, without making mention of this, look at all of these 3 people and determine if I think any of them will die here or should die here.
Ooh. Roll. This is for you, Megara. There we go.
I mean, it's worth knowing. It determines the order of saving you. If
So it's gonna be a psyche roll. You need yellow or better. Yellow or better, okay.
Yeah.
Because it's more complicated, but you do have the occult lore and your talents.
I got 91, which is yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you do see the 2 guys' lifeline sort of getting dimmer. Even more dimmer, if that's the worst English ever, than Hazel's.
Okay.
So basically, you know you're stepping into danger.
Yep.
And that's where things are uncertain because you're going against your destiny. Or the preordained,
Manner of death.
Yes, because if you die at his hands.
Yeah.
So the lifeline threats look slightly more tenuous.
Okay.
But even more so for Ridrick and Remulus.
Okay. So I think they have a higher chance of dying in this
Yes.
situation than not. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Noted.
So when we're here in this clearing, has the hunter gone, or is he stayed, or
If you want him to stay in, he stays. If not, he'll be in the cabin. It's a few hours. And if you don't come back by tomorrow, noon, I go back.
seems reasonable. I don't see why.
I don't want him. I don't want him here.
No. He's just saying, if you need help, further help, I'll help you.
In which case, I'll switch to my normal form.
Okay.
As soon as he's not there. So I'm ready.
Hazel will promise him that she'll be careful.
And now the four of you get to be there, but with Megara's true form. What preparations are you taking?
Well, that's a great question.
Go.
So, yeah, Vidric will say, Megara, you've said several times that you're going to deal with Dark Six.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you have a plan for that, or is this, I'll just to your increased height, this your plan?
Yes. I mean, I thought we would fight it out. It seems the most sensible proposition. I'm confident I can defeat him.
So you want us just to watch?
I mean, what I thought you would be doing is closing up whatever he comes through so he can't get back.
Yes, I can try and keep him here.
And what I thought anyone else would be doing is also hitting him, because that would be beneficial.
Yes. Yeah.
But I'm open to a discussion, if that's proposing.
I mean, we have trees around, so is there any way to make some natural traps with what we have around us?
He doesn't have any wings. He's got 4 arms and a tail, so he'll need to stay out of the way of that. But it does mean if you throw him over the edge, he's going to suffer for it.
Oh, good. So you'll be beating the crap out of him on the way down.
No.
Oh, you'll just let him fall. I see. Yeah.
Why would I catch him? If he just falls to the bottom of the cliff, that would be very bad for him.
I imagine so. Right?
Can he die in the way that we can die?
Well, I mean, he can be damaged enough that I can pull him back. But for that, I need a portal opened. And that feels like a job for you, Vidric.
Yes, I'm sure we can come to some arrangement should we have him captured.
I believe you mentioned that that you think that the way he makes portals is through some sort of device or amulet or
That's
something.
It's a guess. I
I
don't.
mean, of course, but should that be true, don't you think we should take that from him before he goes flying off the cliff? Because if I understand this correctly, he can open these rifts anywhere. Couldn't he open them in thin air? Or right before he hits the floor?
Good question. The other 2 doors we know about were attached to a physical object. But I don't know. I mean, my
In that same
thinking...
regard, the ground is also...
Oh, but if you're hitting that very, very fast, that's... I mean, also, the device could break. And then...
Very true.
I mean, certainly, I don't want to leave such a device here. People from my world shouldn't be in your world. That's a fact. And people from your world shouldn't be in mine.
No.
Oh, alright.
Well, perhaps Hazel, if you see the device on him, you should try and take it from him.
I will.
What's your proposition then, Vidra?
My proposition is that we defeat him. You in
We
this.
hit him very hard.
You appear to want something from me in return for doing your part of this.
Well, it depends on how things play out.
Well, if things play out how I imagine they will, then we will have a prisoner to return to my world.
Yes, and of course, not only will he have caused whatever upset he has here, and you'll be able to take him back for some kind of punishment, he will also have failed to complete his bargain with me, which means he can be undone. And isn't that wonderful for everyone? Except for the fact that I would like him to see that part of his bargain through. So, if you wish me to return you to your world, I'm happy to do it, providing you bring back my soul.
No.
Well, then, I hope you enjoy this wonderful place, because we're going to be spending a long, long time here.
I'm not allowing you to extort this out of me.
I thought pact making was what you people did.
Pact making is what he does. If I make a pact, it's one I plan on sticking to, and since I can't stick to the one you've proposed, I'm not prepared to make it.
Well, that's very honest of you.
Does this mean we are no longer in accord with our intended outcome?
Means we have to see how things play out. But if you want me to try and open some way into your world which is not without risk, then I would quite like to have my soul back, seeing as it's owed to me.
It's not owed to you
It is.
by me.
No. But
And he made that pact with you against the belief of our people. So if I were to agree to your terms, I would be committing the same crime he has committed.
well, in the sense, but also
Not in the sense, in the fact.
in a sense, my actions will be restoring balance and order between our two worlds, and you surely appreciate that my soul shouldn't really be down there in the first place.
That's not for me to judge.
Well, others of your kind have meddled on a poor innocent mortal, and so you could also restore that to balance, and everyone ends up happy. Don't you think? Surely Modin shouldn't be dabbling with us either. He's just as bad in his own way as Garxix.
That does ring true for you. Modis doesn't have an in into this world. Shouldn't have an in into this world.
I was barely more than a child when he came to me with offers and promises, and you know how persuasive they can be.
Yes.
Exactly. So this seems to be a way to restore everything to rights. Otherwise, the only one that can get you back is Garxix, and I wouldn't trust any options he gives you. He knows you mean his destruction. And if you get him back, the pact that he's failed to live with me guarantees his destruction, whatever happens.
It doesn't guarantee his destruction. It guarantees a punishment in accord with his actions, which may or may not be destruction.
I'm sure you can make a very persuasive case.
Do I think that if I made this agreement with him, it's in my power to deliver it? So if he and I went back, is collecting his soul and returning it a thing I could plausibly do?
Well, if you bring Garxix back, for him to get his soul back,
Yeah.
Garxix and Modin should be judged, trialed and judged,
Okay.
because that is the implication here. Modin should not be meddling with souls, and for some reason, Garxix found out and came back for a second take.
Okay.
So we're talking high-ranking.
People who rank higher than me, for sure.
Yes, both of them.
Okay.
Even though Garxix is a traitor and defector.
But that's known.
Yeah, but its higher rank is still,
Yeah.
as far as like power and.
But presumably there are other people who are not traitors who I could leverage.
Yes, you would have to do that.
Yeah.
So it would be within your remit.
Okay.
And also, Richard, your friend on the other side of the veil, has made sure that you are not seen as a traitor. You are not seen as a defector.
Okay. In which case, I'll say, it's possible for me to do what you want. It will take some time.
Providing I'm still alive at the end of it, you can have all the time you want.
I'm not certain that time passes the same way here as it does in my world. I speak this to you in a matter of being honest in this regard. I am, if I return with Garxix, and there will be a trial for both him and Modin, then they can be judged, and that judgment would enable me, if done the correct way, to return your soul to you. So in that regard, and only if you're successful in opening a portal through which we can take him back and closing it again so that others may not pass through, then we will have an accord.
So to sum this up in less words than you used, what you're saying is, if I can open a portal to send you and Garxix back, which does not remain open, then you will return my soul to me. Such that when I die, it will not end up with me in your realm.
Yes, that's exactly what I said.
Then
I feel the need to repeat it.
we have an accord.
Very well.
And if this is done, then Remulus will be free of this whole burden, and Hazel, you will have your revenge.
Yeah.
Everyone's happy.
Well.
Right?
Right.
Right.
Be described as satisfied.
So, you are in the clearing. How are you gonna tempt him to come?
Oh, we've got Garxix bait over here. Yeah. I don't know. Anyone else have suggestions?
You want to reach out to him? Can you get me a psyche roll, please? At 5, because you managed to attune with your crystal last night.
At 5. I mean, the base roll is 69, which I definitely can't.
Which is 74.
Yeah, it's 74, which is a yellow.
Yellow. You reach out with your mind. You've been trained in the academy. You've been trained. The reason you have a +5 was I mentioned it, right? The resonance.
Yeah.
So you have trained in the academy to push your mind beyond some of the boundaries. You have seen students being taught how to push their senses, their sight, their hearing, and others, their thoughts. And that's what you're trying. You're trying to push your thoughts out there. The first place you can try to place your thoughts, but it would be useless, is a few meters away from you, right where Vidric is. Because you can feel that resonance of the dark force, of the void, of nothingness. So you stretch out, you reach out for it. Beyond him, there's nothing immediately. So you stretch further still and beyond. Something feels odd down inside the earth at some point. Down deep into the heart of the mountain. But it's something that is lost, forgotten. Well, laying in sleep. You push them further. And at some point, you do feel darkness, but it's accompanied by pain. Somebody else's pain. And right next to that pain, you can feel you. Or is it him? It's far away from him, from here, so it cannot be you. It must be him. You can touch him with your mind. What do you do?
I'm just going to sort of hold and see if he notices.
Yes, you instinctively know when you sort of prod that he stops and hesitates. You cannot see where he is. You can only feel the area immediately around him. You feel the pain like a lingering echo that's permeating him on his soul. Not part of it. It's just as if something happened outside and he's just in the presence of it. He just basked on somebody's pain.
Garthix.
Remulus, have you reconsidered my offer?
I have.
It's easy. All we need to do is get rid of Modin, you and I. If Modin's done, I can give you Vidric's soul. But also, I can untie my soul from that place. I've found a new one, a better one.
This is
Come to me.
This is draining on me. Why don't you come to me?
Where are you?
Describe where I am.
You basically open your mind so he can touch and follow it. Like, I'll be there before sunset.
Thank you. Well, come out. He'll be here before sunset.
Hazel, by the way, is immediately by his side as soon as he comes out of that trance.
With a wet cough over his forehead.
He will likely suspect a trap, I'm guessing. But, he believes that I've reconsidered his offer, in which he would like me to travel with him to end Modus. And then untie his soul from your realm?
Yes, I rather imagine that's what you want.
Well, if he's on his way, then perhaps I'll look at Megara. You should find somewhere to hide where you can swoop down in a vengeful fashion.
Why would I need somewhere to hide?
Because we want him to come here.
Well, he's going to come here. He just said as much.
But if he sees you here, he might be less likely to come.
That is.
This is an ambush, after all.
And if
This
I
is
can
the
lure
ambush
him,
part.
if I can lure him,
Rather imagine he was going to step out of a portal and I was going to hit him accordingly.
Well, yes, but if
Like he
you...
won't be looking before he comes, will he?
depends on where the portal is.
Yeah.
If the portal's on that tree, he's got this area. If he's got that tree, he can go see
Very
this
well.
area.
Step off the edge of the cliff. Just wait below the level of the ground.
Smart.
Yeah.
He's getting
But at the same time cursing the fact that I was about to build a fire to keep myself from freezing to death. Somehow flying in the mountains until he gets it.
Right in front of a cliff.
Yeah.
Like, flying here, in front of a cliff, where the whole wind is gusting like... Well, actually, it's getting night, so you're feeling it coming from the mountain down. It's like the sinking. Like, it's the breeze that you feel actually sinking. It's not the one that is buffeting upwards,
Okay, yeah.
actually. It creates, actually, a further sensation of vertigo if you're in the tree line, because you feel yourself being pushed towards the cliff. But if you are right there in free fall, you feel it pushing down.
Okay.
It's awful. You're still shaken because of the emotions and the sensation and the whole thing, especially that how you found it with that pain. That roll intuition, please.
That is a yellow.
Wow, nice. So that pain is from someone whose life probably ended by his hand. And it acted like a magnifying glass on the sun. You were looking for his signature, for his essence. You know it because it's a part of you. But that pain just magnified it in a different way, in a way that did not resonate with you. It felt different, but stronger. And of course you're shook because it was very vivid. It's the psychic imprint of it.
I think he's just absorbed something to make him stronger.
Well, I suppose there's not much we can do about that now.
Really, no.
No, but hopefully he will. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to put a bit of distance. I imagine he's expecting you to be alone.
Likely.
Yeah. I'll do the same.
Well, I'm gonna maybe go look for a place in the trees nearby to, like, somewhere close. Obviously out in the...
Okay, are you hiding or just protecting yourself?
I mean, half-assed hiding.
Roll agility.
That's a white check.
You're
I mean,
hugging like a tree somewhere there. It's like,
where I can watch is fine.
You?
Hazel is going to transform and then hide in the woods. So
Can you describe
yes.
the transformation,
So
please?
what happens is that she pulls the hood just a little bit further so that the head of the wolf will cover her face. And then it is as though the veins in the wolf's skin are starting to resonate and glow. And as that happens, she slowly turns into the creature.
And the creature is a massive mammoth of it's sort of like a timber wolf, but it's sort of like a dire wolf. It's just a massive, big, dark copper red wolf. Insanely long fangs, and the claws just dig into the earth.
As she's leaving, it's just a squeeze around here. This is actually, of all this is actually fucking awesome.
I'll be right in the trees where you need me. She'll say this probably telepathically because
Definitely telepathically. You can communicate telepathically.
That's still fucking weird.
I know.
Can I ask you to be facing the cliff edge so that he will have his back to me?
Yeah.
Can you roll intuition, please? That sounds white.
Yellow.
How come it takes so long? It's like,
Because I couldn't read it.
I will admit I had some trouble as well.
oh, it's small numbers, right?
The small numbers in the middle are small.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, basically you orientate him in a way that will help you.
Yes.
Okay. So now I need intuition checks from the rest of you.
Intuition, you say?
Do it. Shut out. White.
Just appeared.
As green as the tree.
You're the one who notices coming out
Yeah, that's right, people.
from a rock,
Okay.
and actually from sideways. So he will have to, like he's diagonal to where he is. He will have to walk
All right.
around that, but he will end up turning his back towards you. Also, he's coming with other people.
Do I think he has kind of done the thing he's not done, where he stepped through some kind of weird door, and like he's come through, and then there are other people going to start to come through?
You see him come through, but then you see a woman coming after him.
What I would like to do, if I can, is try and close the gate he's opened to stop as many people as possible coming through.
Red check means that it's only him and the woman, because I mean you cannot close it before.
Yes.
Yellow means that someone else comes in. Green means that 2 more people come in, and white means that all 6 of them come in.
Okay.
Hey.
Am I able to do that from where I am, or do I need to be present at the rock?
No, because your rank in Dark Force Manipulation is monstrous, so you are at the distance that you can use.
So I imagine that, yeah, he will be doing that thing that people do in superhero movies, you know, where they kind of make the gestures.
Yeah.
I think he's working on it from where he is, but... So... it's not bad. It's a yellow.
It's a yellow, so...
Him or
Him, the woman, and then right behind him, the porter. You sort of manage to find the way to pull it, like pulling strings sideways and closing it in,
Okay.
and someone manages to leap forwards, and then it's a man, a big one. What was that? And the 3 of them immediately freak out. Garsix turns to you and says, well. You brought the blacksmith with you?
I thought he would be appropriate for this conversation. I didn't realize you were bringing others.
Yeah, but bringing us to the middle of the mountain. Not a smart idea, kid. And he transforms into his form. The woman that's with him also transforms, and she looks like Megara, this androgynous figure with black feather
I'm
wings.
the crying out of Megara. Look at that. There's no
I mean, if assuming I can hear this happening, then I when you finish your description, I will take action.
And the big guy actually sort of mutates inwards. He looks like he's a very ugly sort of fanged spider. But it's only a 5-legged spider. Fanged. It's not big, but you know, it's dangerous. It's the kind of thing that would poisonous to you on a lethal level. So you can only imagine what it will do to mortals.
Okay. I mean, I'm assuming when I kind of fly up from where I am, I see this
Yeah.
unexpectedly large number of people.
Yes.
Okay.
3. One of them on that end is like you.
In which case, so if I think the spider creature is the most dangerous to everybody else, then I will go for the spider creature immediately.
Mm-hmm.
The when he transforms, does he have on his person like a large flashing medallion, crown, ring, object that screams, "This is the source of my sneaky teleporting power," or not? I mean, it'll have to be pretty obvious. But if he does, I am just curious. Because obviously we had a discussion about it the previous night.
Yes.
I will need a reason roll from you.
Yeah, that's a yellow check.
Okay,
I'm very reasonable.
it's a small saber-like dagger. It has like a little saber handle,
Yeah,
but it's a short dagger.
yeah.
The thing is that the whole thing is sort of like made out of silver, or it looks like silver to you. You're a crafter.
Yeah.
So even the guard, it's just one piece of silver. It's not ornate or anything. It's just silver with the guard, everything.
So I reckon that we want to get this dagger off him.
When he comes through, when he came through, you're trying to remember. When he came through, he was putting something away.
Ah, okay.
But now that he's transformed in his sort of otherworldly clothes, that remains as it's that ridiculous mockery of, like, he grew in size.
Yeah.
So this looks,
It's like a tiny thing.
yeah, it looks almost comically small.
Is Hazel anywhere near me?
She's around, and you know that she can hear your thoughts
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, I will think.
if you address them
Hazel,
to her.
Get the dagger,
Get the dagger.
the silver dagger.
Okay. So I'm just gonna need you to roll initiative, which is basically 1d10.
We don't have that. You said it was all D1.
No. Your side rolls 1d10. My side rolls 1d10.
Who wants to roll for our side?
I just rolled.
All right.
Okay, well, what are you?
Well, it's not going to be me.
I got a 5.
You got a
Got a
5.
5.
Okay. Now everybody from your intuition rank, you just add the tenths.
Sorry.
What?
Sorry, say that
Your
again.
intuition,
Yeah.
what's your number?
40.
You add 4.
Why? He rolled 5.
Yes.
So you have 9.
Yes.
Never mind. Don't explain this to me.
So basically, I'll go 1, 2. Well, you're gonna go from higher up. So 20. No one. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. No one is on 12. Great. My turn.
Box.
What if you... I don't understand why we're going down. Never
Sorry.
Mind. Never mind.
Yeah. Yes. Highest first. That's it.
Yeah, but I'm on 44.
What?
No, you're on.
No. Just the tens.
I'm.
Just the tens. For every 10, you add 1. Basically.
So if you've got 44, you've got 4.
What? What?
And you add the 5 that he rolled to it. That's it.
Okay.
So you have 9.
This is learning maths with Beth. With Bex.
Remember, kids.
Maths. It's important.
Shut up, I'm an accountant.
The problem is, this is actually too easy, Matthew. You need something more demanding, and you'll be fine.
I'm a visual person.
9.
Ooh.
I misspent you playing role-playing games. It's fine.
Okay. So, the spider thingy goes at you at a speed that you were not expecting, jumps at you, and you feel it go with one of its sort of legs. You see now that it's just 4 legs. The 5th leg is more like a stinger. And it goes at you super fast. You can barely see it. And then tries to bite you. But it misses with such a grace both of the attacks because you manage to turn to get away from it. 11. 10.
10?
Yes. What did you do?
Right. I think Hazel will try to stay in the trees for as long as she can and then ambush Garcix from...
Well, basically, you can get to him right now. Garcix has his sight fixed
Excellent, yeah.
on him. So you're gonna try and get just the dagger. And then run.
Yep. Just
Okay, I'm gonna need you to do 2 checks.
Okay.
One is going to be an agility check
And then,
using your wolf form
yeah.
stats. And depending on how that goes, is this
That is a green
okay? And now you need a strength check
strength.
on your wolf form as well.
Okay. Not better, that's white.
Okay, so you managed to get to where he is, and you managed to nip with your teeth, and you get the dagger off of his belt, but he shoves you, so the dagger falls, and you just slide sideways, and now the dagger is between you and him. But his face tells a story that, like, he's very concerned that he doesn't have the dagger with him. 9.
I think.
Yes. It's your turn.
So from where I am, I want to fly over to where the spider creature is.
Yes.
Drop it over the side of the cliff.
Okay. So it's gonna be a grapple check. So it's gonna be a very, very simple strength check using your demon stats. Against mine.
It is green.
Mine is white. So you manage to grab it, and then with your with your movement, you just fly,
Just let it go.
and then you stop the grapple.
Yeah.
So it was a very easy way to deal with that worst
I
part.
mean, it might come back, but it's not for now.
It is not a problem for now.
No one's getting poisoned.
8,
Right now.
7.
There you go.
Okay. You go and I go, but I'm not like the woman is not going to go after you. So.
Can I see the fact that he's panicking about this dagger?
Yes.
I'm gonna use this, and I'm gonna try and hit it full on. I'm gonna try and destroy it.
Oh, you're gonna try to destroy the dagger with your projectile.
Yeah.
Go for it. Sorry. Did you get a red check?
I got 95, which is a red check.
Shit. Wait, because I need to check the strength, the material strength of it.
I am leaving the dice there.
No. I believe you. I was not expecting. To be honest, you know when you prepare stuff, but you think, my characters are not that smart. My players are not that smart. They're not going to think about destroying it in the middle of combat. Material strength. Thank you.
Fuck it up.
15. So no, it's white in every single planet. So you see it when you get this spider that is trying to hold on to hang on to one of the trees in which Remulus is docked behind, so it didn't hit him. You just take it out and push yourself with the talons of your feet outwards. You of course let the creature drop and then open your wings and do the fly, the flap forwards. As you're reincorporating yourself, Remulus is just getting his wand out and immediately blasting it. And you think he's gonna go and blast Garcix. But he hits the ground. You don't know exactly what happens. But there is a light. Brief light. And then a black-purple bowl starts expanding.
I am sorry.
Does this look like the previous portal or nothing like the previous portal?
It looks like the portal, but it looks nothing like your world.
Shit, okay. Thanks.
Fuck this
Now
guy.
it's my turn. It's Garcix's turn.
Basically, I said, you should have fucking killed me when you had the chance.
He goes at you. Of course. Because let me kill him. Because I'm gonna need that essence to survive that. Can you make me an endurance check?
Yeah, that is entirely as I expected.
Wide, right?
Yep.
Boom, you're slammed. You are sent flying down.
What, over the cliff?
Yes.
Shit.
I saw that shit coming, don't worry.
I assume it's your turn.
If everyone else has acted, I'm on 5.
Oh no, it's the girl's turn.
Yeah.
And she actually flies to hit you.
Okay.
Ooh, can you do an agility check, please?
Agility.
Sorry, evade check. It's further down the...
Yes.
Yellow?
Green.
Ooh, you're hit.
Does my body armor do anything in this?
How much body armor you have?
Rank 40?
So you're hit very, very hard, and he shoves you sideways, but the thick hide of the wolf form takes all of the damage. Okay?
All right.
But she hit you hard, and it hurt. No, it really didn't. Peter.
Okay, how big is this thing this thing that's appeared?
Right now, small, no bigger than a 12-year-old.
No bigger.
In a diameter.
No bigger than a 12-year-old.
In diameter.
Diameter, so it's quite big.
Well, yeah. I mean, depending. Are we talking planetary scales? It's tiny.
All right, fine. So what I think I'm going to do, having recently closed the other thing, as if like pulling the string shut, I appreciate it's going to be much worse. I'm going to try and contain this before it gets too big, and ideally close it down.
Okay. Dark Force manipulation, please. Core power.
White it is.
Oh. Psyche, please.
My favourite. White it is.
Yep.
The reason it's not working is because this is not Dark Force. He's not using this to go to another place. This is a new one. This is the equivalent of a sort of a dead purgatory. When you close it, or when you reach out with your armor to try and close it, it touches your mind. It's fair to say that Vidrix will struggle to be the same for a while.
Okay.
Right now, you consider yourself stunned.
Yeah.
And for the next round, because you're going into sort of like the shadow realm, which is the one he's been using to jump in and out. So, the three of you, tell me your actions.
So just to clarify, he's fallen over the cliff edge.
Yes.
She's been whacked in the side knees.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hazel is first of all going to direct some thoughts at Megara, going, "Go and get him.
Yes.
Don't let him fall to his death."
Yeah, I mean, she is basically, she has like a hub, a router, telepathic. She's talking to everybody in wolf form.
Who else is left on their side? Spider thing is over the cliff.
The girl in Garsix, yeah,
Last
that's it.
things. Okay, so it's if I go and get him, then I'm leaving the girl and Garsix
Against them too.
against these two.
Yeah.
Because I'm not doing much.
She doesn't know that.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I can do is go. Just slow the fall and hope.
Do I think? Because I'm assuming I know how far a drop it is. It's far enough to have hopefully killed the spider creature. How long do I think it will take me to get like there and back? Because basically, I'm happy to have him as a casualty if it means stopping these two doing something much more serious.
You think you could risk it, but then you would have to do a multiple action check.
Fine, I'll do that then. I'll go after him and do the check.
Or deal with Hazel's wrath.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about Hazel's wrath.
Can I have a fighting check from you?
Fighting check.
Yes. From your demon form.
Yellow? No, green.
How much is your fighting?
How much is my fighting?
Yes.
40.
Okay, green is what you need for 2 actions at a penalty.
Okay. Fine.
So-
Well, what I've got, so.
No. I mean, if you fail the check, you have 1 action at triple the penalty.
Oh, I see. Okay. Then that means I can get him.
You can you can do 2 things.
Okay, fine.
What do you want to do?
I want to go and get him. And then if I can get back up, then I'll,
Yeah, it will be just
Okay, then I'll just drop him and then I'll hit.
cool. And your action is going to be saved. So can you don't need to roll to fly and pick him up
I don't need to.
because you know how to fly.
Yeah.
It's probably quite a giant thing. The one just.
But you will have to make a roll to hit Garsix on the way up.
Okay.
And can you please tell me? And can you please tell me? You're just gonna tear this woman with your fangs and claws, right?
That is the plan.
Yep. So both of you roll.
What am I rolling again?
Fighting.
Fail. I mean, all maps fail.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're
Massive
you're
fail.
back to your senses. Anything in particular you want to do?
So I've now established this is not Dark Force energy and I can't close it.
You can try and close it. You can use the Dark Force to force it shut, but you cannot manipulate it.
It'd be like sort of getting 2 other things and then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can
Can I get a perception check from you? Basically, intuition.
me?
Yes.
Sure. My intuition's not great. So that's a green check.
There's something peeking from inside.
Something speaking from inside.
Something is speaking from inside.
From inside this rift thing.
Yes.
Okay. In a sort of, in what manner is it speaking?
Is it's peeking. Something is peeking through.
Peeking through.
Yeah.
Is it really terrifying? By any chance?
It looks absolutely terrifying, but it's sad because I mean I'm talking about what you see is like sort of this, given the dimensions.
Okay.
But it's looking at Garsix. So you're talking about something which eye is about a third of the diameter.
Okay, right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to craft a shield from my Dark Force energy, and then I'm going to advance upon the rift.
Okay.
Hang on. This is a dumb one. This is like, it's as big as a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
Fine, I'm just going to try and I'm going to try and use the Dark Force to collapse it then. I was thinking about literally physically using the shield and my armor as 2 points to...
Okay. So it's a roll.
I'm just going to try and...
If you get a white roll, the creature inside gets to act. Kill everybody. If you get a green check, I get to do one action. If you get yellow or better, you close it before I do anything.
Okay. How does a red check grab you?
You close the portal in enough time to, like, the combat is not gonna go forever. They're big weapons where their ability to move around, and the fact that they had something that, had it stung any of you, would have died. Megara dealt with that in a second. Garsix immediately calls it off. Calls the other woman. Shh. Stop.
I mean, am I allowed to not stop?
Oh, you are allowed. He's not compelling you. He just says, please. I can go with you.
Good.
You can also come with me if you want.
The girl who's with him, is she Tisiphone or is she Electo? Or she is just, or she consider of the three of the other two people.
She's a lecture.
Ah, okay. Where are you going?
We found another realm in which we can be whatever we want. It takes a little work to get from one place to the other. But it's easy once you know the ritual. Reason.
White.
I can't go with you, Garso. I made a pact with him. And I'm not walking out on it, like you walked out on yours. Or rather agreed a pact you couldn't deliver. So we have to go back, all of us. Turn to the girl and say, and you, I'm surprised at you. You know better than this. This is not our purpose. It's not ours to decide what we want to be.
She cannot even meet your gaze. He does tell you that that blade was the one they would use to go back. There's no way for them to go back. But this is when you show them that you have a way back. That involves almost trying to toy with the forces of nature.
I mean, what could go wrong?
What?
After a while and some attempts, Vidrick manages to open a portal to your land through a mirror from which Richard is watching, as in guiding him in the right way through the right place. You are asked to join them, Remulus. For you bear part of the essence of this realm untimely. And you had an untimely death. And there must be a judgment for that. It's not your soul that will be judged. It's the resolution that can be beneficial
This is
for
not
you.
your judgment.
Verdicts can absolve your soul.
We need you to come. Justice has to be done. If it's not done at the end of a soul's existence, then what's the purpose of his life?
Will I return?
I have no reason to think you will not. Wait, do I? No, he's...
No, he actually, he should be returning.
Yes, yeah.
Now, the state in which he will return, he probably still has the essence, he probably will be rebuilt. Doesn't matter, but he will be returning.
Yes, we'll be back. And I'll be back with what you asked of me.
Well, it's been good to do business with you. And I hope I'll look at Gossett. You have a terrible time.
And as the demon is taken back to his realm, and Remulus finally finds a way to get rid of what curse runs in his vein, Megara has finally met the man who has made her suffer in a different realm. Hazel has had her revenge against those who dare strike at the heart of her family, and Vidric feels vindicated. There is someone, someplace in the shadows, who has seen them and now wants them. Thank you for joining us tonight in this one shot. I'm sorry we ran late. I got over enthusiastic. I saw Callum telling me to end and I couldn't stop. Again, this is Callum Appreciation Weekend. Send them all your love. Amazing. Ted Gould number A has done an amazing and fantastic job. Thank you very much to my players. I hope you have liked it. It was an experiment.
Amazing.
Thank you to our live audience for tonight. Also, I believe Callum was very kind to me. I believe this episode had 0 hands.
There we go.
Gotcha! Join us next for the 6th episode of Blood on the Thameses, our Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle in Oxfordshire, England. Coming back from our mid-season break. We love you. See you next week. Bye.